Gentlemen, welcome back to the final cast of ozfortress Season 28 Premier Division. We're going to be taking a look at the grand final of Happy Feet versus Head Cavers. Tonight on the mic is going to be myself, I'm Michael, and I'm going to be joined by Beta during the games. And for our analysts who are going to kind of guide this pre-game discussion and discuss the games as it is played, we have Elmo and DuMmTm. I'll let these guys take it away to start us off.
Hello, everyone. How are we feeling tonight?
This should be hopefully a really good match, right?
I
I'm
mean,
excited. It's yeah.
Have you watched much of ozfortress this season? Because it's been pretty
Not-
tight. Probably the
Not
tightest in a
nearly as
while.
much as I would like to have, and I've kept track of some results here and there, so I have a general idea how close it has been, obviously, and all that. But unfortunately, I couldn't see quite as much about the games itself while they were happening, so I don't really have too much of an idea going in how these teams will be playing, and that gives me probably a very nice perspective to just learn as we go along here.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Probably should go through the teams first. So I will go through Happy Feet. Pretty strong lineup. It's pretty close to what there was last season, and while I would disagree, most people would say it's stronger than last season. So we got Aisha's Pocket Scout, down Flank Scout, Fane on Roma, who was the upgrade from last season, Yule Pocket, what's his face? Red Coats, you go Demo, and I'm pretty sure it's Dog Roll, not Doge, on Medic. Pretty strong. I think most of them are probably top 2 at least, if not kind of the best on their class. Have you seen much of them this season at all? Happy Feet have been the ones you've been watching?
Yes, I've seen some games in there, and like you mentioned, obviously they've been around for a while. All fairly familiar names, even to me, who hasn't been nearly around as much. So obviously, I mean, they're all coming in together like this. You're expecting big things. They had a really strong season, not undefeated, but needless to say, still really, really strong. And they need to just make it work one more time here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely been kind of more dominant than they were last season, only dropping a map on Via, which, bringing that up, they instantly banned. It's just not their map. We'll talk about that in a bit. Go through Head Cavers as well. So Head Cavers has Sam on the Pocket Scout, Dork Flank Scout, Right Roma, probably the biggest change, and be very interesting to see how it goes. It wasn't too bad last time. Paulson on the Pocket Soldier over the infamous Toxic Gamer Hertz, Enrith Demo, and Doge Medic. I'm sure you would have heard of some of those names.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty much familiar with all of those in general. Throughout the years, have been around in the Premiership level for ozfortress for quite a while. I believe there's been like a roster change going to playoffs for them as well, right?
Yeah, well,
it was
we
a little bit of a
talk
shakeup.
about the reasons, but yes, Hertz was slapped in the face by head admin Catfish, and now he's out. And so Paulson's come in for the games where he wasn't playing. So Down played last week and did well. Paulson played the week before, wasn't as good, but I'm sure we'll see big things from him in the grand final. Yeah, I would say kind of it'll be interesting to see kind of the scouts, I think, as well. So I'd say Aisha and Down, probably everyone would say they're kind of the strongest scout combo. So it'll be interesting to see how Sam and Dork match up, because I think that when Hade Cavers do well is kind of when they allow Dork and Wright kind of can go ham. Because on Gully there were a lot of times where they played Gully 2 weeks ago in the upper bracket, and Head Cavers just lost. It was a really close one, and Dork was pounding for a bit of that. Well, kind of the week before in their real game, Dork got a bit crushed, and it kind of led to an instant defeat.
Yeah, and that's obviously an interesting one to look at here. The previous game in the upper page finals being still a close game ultimately, but also 2 map wins in a row for Happy Feet. 2-1 on Gully, 3-1 on Process. I'm not sure if we have maps already yet, but regardless to all of that, it's been fairly close so far. Happy Feet obviously came out on top at the moment, so we'll see how that will develop here tonight.
So we have got maps. So like I said, product's been banned. So Happy Feet. So Happy Feet's always kind of being crap at product. I think last season we lost, or they lost in their round game, and then pretty much banned it until the grand final, where they banned Bagel instead because they weren't feeling good, and we'd practiced a lot, and we still got crushed. So just an instant ban now that Bagel's gone. It's probably a good call since that was the only map lost on this season. Just doesn't work out at all for them.
Yeah, obviously you want to always have as big a map pool as the team as possible, just so you know like where your strengths lie and where your weaknesses are. And obviously you want to work on your weaknesses eventually, but at this point it is the grand final. You have the luxury of a ban early to just go for right away. Use it where it's the most necessary, and when you just know ahead of time what it will be, regardless of what the opponents are good at, just singling out what like your most exploitable map would be. That's obviously just very nice going into it already.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's probably just if there's 5 CP to be played, Happy Feet would rather just play 5 CP, because I think apart from kind of the less played ones, I might say meme maps like Logjam and such, or Metalworks, they probably feel super confident on every 5 CP, I would imagine. Yeah, Head Cavers as well. They banned Pro Lands probably because they got crushed. It was 6-2 or something in their round 7 game, I think. So they just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah, another fair assumption, right? It can be a little bit of an awkward map for a lot of teams, especially if it's not been around for as long as some of the other maps in recent times, at least. Obviously, Badlands
Yeah, it was last season. It wasn't around. It pretty much was every other season, but yeah, last season. And then Head Cavers probably got crushed on it, and they just said, well, we haven't practiced it last season. We're not good at it. There's no point trying to become good at it in these last couple of weeks. We'll just ban it out.
Yeah, just cutting the losses there, really.
It's more of kind of a typical 5 CP map as well, like that Happy Feet are better on. So they probably just say ban a typical map and pick more of the kind of unexpected maps. As I say that though, Happy Feet has picked Sunshine, and Head Cavers unexpectedly haven't picked like a Logjam or Metalworks. They picked Granary.
That is interesting, I suppose. Sunshine obviously being a relatively like traditional styled map, right? If you think about them in that kind of sense, Process and Sunshine are like up there in terms of like just safe layout, so to speak, which a lot of maps are modeled after nowadays. In terms of new maps that are coming out, so Sunshine obviously up there in terms of the safer picks for sure. At this point, obviously, by no means anymore like a stranger to anyone. It might have been one of the more recent additions that stayed in the map pool, but it's been staying in the map pool ever since. So it's by no means an odd one out here. Granary, on the other hand, heavily debated map for a lot of people as to how much they like it or not. Headcavers trusted. Obviously, if you want to have your ban on product for Happy Feet, they cannot afford to ban it instead if they still don't like it too much. So maybe that works in Headcavers' favor or not if Happy Feet isn't too happy with a Granary map pick here for them.
Yeah, I'm kind of just surprised that they didn't kind of pick a more map they've been playing recently and been playing well on from Happy Feet. Like, I don't think it's, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they played Sunshine in a while. Like, they pretty much haven't lost. They played it 2 weeks in a row. And while it was 3-1 both times, you'd pretty much think if you're winning 3-1 on a map twice in a row, you would think you'd be able to dominate them on that.
I don't know. It depends. You need to like have a little bit more context, right? The 3-1 could always also just mean that one of them was like a that time round after you desperately failed the last push attempt and then just got rolled back in like the last minute or so. So you need a little bit more than just the number there.
Yeah, I get what you mean, but I feel like for Happy Feet, they should feel like their scouts will dominate. Sam's obviously really good, but I feel like most people would say Down's been absolutely destroying, and I'd say it's kind of definitely the best scout this season. So Process is obviously kind of the most scout favored map. I mean, Happy Feet's good all around. I mean, both teams are obviously, but if your scouts are like ahead and you can pick a map where your scouts will dominate, then you should win just because scouts are OP.
And that is fair, yes. I suppose especially if you know how to play around them, which at this level you would assume these teams very much know where they want to have the scouts be at basically all times in the game, in order to either be immediately used to get the rest of the team in forward, get the heals in quick, or just protect the medic in a more defensive scenario. That kind of sense. DM is all nice and good, but if you don't know how to play them, that's a different story. And if you want to play a map like Process, you will have to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, as we talk about that, Happy Feet have Process. I mean, it's the third pick, so it has to be played since it's a good old best of 5. So maybe they just think that I mean, Sunshine's a pretty good scout map too, apart from kind of the lobby part. So they probably just pick the scout maps or just pick typical maps. Like you were saying, all the maps are kind of based off the process, kind of Snakewater mold. They're kind of the favorite of TF2. So it's not surprising that the more classic maps are going to be in Happy Feet's favor, since they've always kind of dominated on them. You said Gran is kind of surprising too, since Happy Feet's always been pretty strong on that. Because they kind of smashed was it Butterfly Effect last season in the grand final on it. I don't know
you
how
really
much.
have to. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't know if when Granary was played, whether they actually versed it against any other strong teams though, because it was week 1 only, pretty much. Kind of a wild card. They might have been practicing their strats in secret. Head Cavers and are pretty confident on it now.
I mean, they must have if they trusted for the grand finals now. You better have to actually practice it. For what it's worth, Headcavers did pick it already last week. It wasn't played, but they wanted to. As the map 3, that never got to happen. So they already had the confidence going into the last week, enough so to pick it at some point here. So now picking it first, they really seem to want to get to Granary and make the most of it. Clearly, you want to have some trust in your explosive classes there. It's always in the talk is a great soldier map, and it clearly is, with all the areas you can bomb from and all that kind of stuff. Midfights just being hugely decisive on any good soldier aggression at all. Last points have the high ground to exploit as well. Demo map, it is also to some decent extent, I would say, especially once you're in the second stalemate, yard stalemate. So much area control the demo can do, be it shutter, be it on the point itself. Just so much value the demo can pump in, and that's where also the difference between these two teams has to show.
Yeah, maybe something to do with Paulson makes them confident on Granary as well. I don't know, he might have some secret strats that he didn't bother telling us that he can pull out on Granary. We've come to the last. So Gully was actually picked by Happy Feet in the upper bracket final. It didn't really work so well. They kind of snuck out the win. In the end, it was like a 15-minute golden cap where down back capped or something retarded when Head Cavers were looking pretty good. So not really surprising that Head Cavers have pulled it out as the 4th pick if it gets that far. And then good old for the final map, Redcoat's favorite, Snakewater. So yeah, I'm kind of disappointed that there's no probably just like the 5 typical maps, so the 5 picked maps. No kind of Metalworks or Logjam.
Pretty much. I don't know how it's in ozfortress, but in EU we had a map popularity poll last year at some point, and it was Process, Snake Gully, Sunshine Product, Granary. So it's pretty much that.
Yeah, the
with
dream
the product
lineup.
So people playing mostly safe, but you can still see who favors what a little bit more here, I want to say. With Headcappers obviously picking out the Granary pick, picking out the Gullywash pick, having a little bit more faith in explosive classes maybe than the scouts here, or at least want to have them in position to do the heavy lifting more than anything.
Yeah, definitely they're going for the kind of more spammy kind of maps. I mean, Granary doesn't end up being that kind of stalemate most of the time. It's actually a really good game in officials for whatever reason. But yeah, Gullywash as well. It's definitely kind of a more spammy kind of map rather than scouts running wild. Even though Dork beast on it, and that was part of the reason they were doing really well last time. Do you know much more about the other classes, the class matchups? What do you think about the Enrith, Redco? They've both been around a long time. What are your thoughts?
Ooh, that's one where I can't really have too much of an input, unfortunately, on how they play specifically, unfortunately. You'd have to enlighten me what you know about these two guys, I think.
I mean, both are, I think, being the kind of the top demos for a while. That other old man that came 3rd on demo this season isn't any good, so Enrith and Redcoat are miles ahead. Redcoat now lives under the servers as well, so he has 2 ping. So it's kind of put his DM to the next level. He can kind of get away with doing idiotic things, because I would say Redcoat, the main criticism of him was kind of he gets out of position doing meme traps and stuff sometimes. But now with his 2 ping, he kind of has the DM that it just works sometimes, and it's ridiculous. Well, Enrith is definitely more of a kind of methodical player. He doesn't really go for plays. He's just always there, alive, pounding. So there's definitely kind of a difference in play style. So I would say, like you were saying with Headcavers picks, the more kind of explosive maps, they probably think Enrith's kind of more methodical approach where he's just going to do big damage and his team can follow up on that is better than Redcoat kind of memeing it up at times. and getting caught in lobby, that kind of thing.
All right, with that all out of the way, I think an important topic as well to speak about, especially towards like top level teams, is always the main callers. Will have a huge impact. You always see the strong brain behind the operation here. So, what can you say about that for these two teams here?
I mean, well, Headcave is probably has like kind of the most well-known caster in Australia. I mean, caller. So Paulson, obviously, probably everyone thinks of the big caller in Australia as Paulson now. So that's obviously a pretty big strength compared to. So Aishal's the caller for Happy Feet, and he's a bit less inexperienced. Or it's kind of like it's not as dominant as Paulson typically tends to be, even though Paulson did say others were calling a bit. Sam calls Ubers, that kind of thing, but Paulson's kind of the overall caller. But yeah, Aishao and kind of Redcoat do a bit of the calling as well, like together, but it's more so Aishao calling Ubers, all that. Just because Scout's so dominant, you kind of have to have them call. So I think probably Headcavers have kind of the advantage just because Paulson's so experienced compared to everyone in Ozfort at calling at this point. He's basically a fossil, but definitely kind of a smart one.
Well, if you've been around for long enough, you have seen a lot of things as well, which might help.
Yeah, so you can remember all the permutations and what to call.
Yeah, exactly.
How much he's seen.
Also something that can't be understated, and especially like you as a former player should have some experience of that, how stamina might affect things here. Obviously, all these teams have been around for quite a while, all these players have been. Still, it's always a big difference going from, the best of twos in regular season and the best of threes in the previous players' matches to a whole best of 5 here, if it comes down to that, obviously. Do you think that will make a difference for these teams? Do you think they will stack up similarly in that regard to be able to just keep going as close to the best they can throughout the entire match here?
I mean, I think Happy Feet definitely has the advantage when that's going on, just because the core of their team has played so many finals kind of. Like Redcoat, I know Down has been on different teams, but he's played a fair few of those finals. And then I think everyone on their team was in the grand final at least last season, and that was 4 maps at least. So, and then they went the distance. I don't think anyone really choked at the end, so they definitely have that going for them compared to Headcavers, where I think this is pretty much Dork's kind of first season in what most people would call kind of a top prem team. So it's probably his first finals experience at all, let alone kind of grand finals. Well, Paulson's obviously been there, not as recently, so he'll be fine, as well as Enrith and such. But yeah, Happy Feet definitely have the advantage just because of the experience and just the more recent experience. Pretty much, they know what they're doing recently. They know not to get tilted. Because from being there last season on the team, it's like we lose Viaduct. It's like, but pretty much didn't matter to us at all. We knew we would probably get crushed, so it wasn't like a big deal. And so you kind of put that out of your mind and just go to the distance. Well, I'm sure obviously Dork and such aren't going to let it get them down too much. It's obviously a bit different if you haven't actually experienced it before.
Yeah, and that's a huge important thing here, like you mentioned. Not getting caught up in anything. At bare minimum, you always want to make sure that the worst you play in the grand final is still good enough to get you through it, at least to some extent. You don't want to get caught up in tilting and any mental struggles like that, or maybe in being just tired because the game takes long and just play so much worse that it is a big contributing factor. You want your minimum to be good enough to at least be able to compete with them still and not get just walked over by the opponents.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely I think it's kind of overplay. You don't want to just, it's the grand final, I have to do things because otherwise we'll lose.
Yes.
Obviously, if you're 4-0 down with 10 minutes to go, you're going to have to do something. But it's kind of you don't want to go, we're 1-0 down, I better start doing more plays, even though, it wasn't really working out for you doing plays. You're better off kind of playing safer and getting into the groove first. And then once your confidence is up, rather than, I have to do things because we were losing, and that just kind of leads to more losing.
Yeah, it will be an interesting one. And even then, in general, for ozfortress, it's just been a good season overall. With IO it's been a good prize pool. And just the general size of the competition this time as well. I think that was the biggest season for ozfortress ever, I believe.
It was 52 teams, and I think the next highest had 48, and that was a while ago at this stage. So yeah.
being able to call yourself the winner of the biggest season of ozfortress can't be too bad, I don't think. Plus,
No,
obviously, a
definitely
little bit of
not.
money to boot doesn't hurt either, so things are on the line here, be it like actual winnings or a lot of bragging rights, I suppose, as well.
Definitely with the amount of degenerates in the final they could do with the money. Yeah, I've been in for L8, so 20 seasons ago was the peak of ozfortress before now, which is kind of insane considering like how long ago that was now, and dead game memes and all that, and we're back up to 52, and we've been pretty stable, at least like 40 for the last 2 seasons. So obviously everyone knows why more people are at home playing games, but still, it's still quite impressive.
Well, that's the benefit, I suppose, right? Everyone has the time now, so make the most of it. And make a damn good season of it. So far, it looks like most people have been. And the few games I watched here and there, and the few games I casted here and there in lower divisions as well, have all been really, really close, really, really interesting. So people make the most of their time here, which hopefully will translate to a really, really good match. And it's been shaping up all season to be just like that. So hopefully this will deliver some more here.
I don't think many ozfortress finals have really disappointed. I don't think there hasn't been a 3-0 final for a while. Maybe season 23, I think, might have been one, but I think all the other ones have been at least 4 maps, and there was a 5-mapper a few seasons ago. So we should definitely go to at least 4 maps. Like, I'd say Happy Feet's still obviously the favorite, just because they've won so many of the last few, like the last 4 or something in a row. But yeah, I would say Headcavers will definitely show something today. They don't want to just limp dick it, lose out on their big payoff, like you said, and just 3-0 out.
Yeah, once you've gotten this far and the money is in reach, you're not gonna like just take it easy now. You want to be able to perform. You need to focus. You need to keep yourself together for the very worst 5 whole maps here. Obviously, neither team probably looking forward too much to taking this as long, but you need to be ready for it.
Definitely should be ready since they've had probably a half an hour warm up. Hopefully, yeah, we should be. We're going live, so I think we're out of here. See you in the mid game soon, I think, boys.
Yeah, big King. Thank you very much. You guys managed to drag that on while we were waiting for Paulson, is what I've seen in the game chat from both teams. So he's finally crawled out of his cave in a nice long rest. And
nah, he's still sitting there, dude. He's still a statue in spawn.
Oh no. Oh no. Maybe the computer's being brought to him right now. Back in the cave internet already. It's probably better than Western Australian net anyway, so. But yeah, it's look, I'm super keen for this match bit. We should have these two teams getting underway pretty soon. So do you have any thoughts about this game? You keen as I am?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. This weekend was very long for me. Like, thank God NBA is back. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have done with myself. But I feel like this is probably Headcavers' match to lose, just because they've been so dominant all season long. As we are going live here, so I think about 79% of chat also thought they were going to win. But you know, I don't want to write out Headcavers even with the Hurts being gone. Getting Paulson in here is probably going to bring some sort of shenanigans to it. We saw a bunch of mind games in the first game, or in the last game that we saw here in the semi-finals. But yeah, beyond the first minute, take it away.
Yeah, and we've actually got a lot of damage being done onto Doge very early. I think there was a pipe or 2 very well placed stickies. Dork going down quite low very early, has the flank of Happy Feet on him. But that's going to be Enrith and Riot falling very low. Riot, commendable effort trying to get onto Dogroll as this team was leaving, but only 1 rocket will be what he finds. That's just going to be Headcavers lead. They're keeping their they're keeping their even Ubers. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that going forward, as Doge just making the call for his team to leave.
Yeah, that was a good decision, I think. Like, those bombs didn't do a whole lot. Riot, you know, didn't get the demo man. He could have gone for the medic there. And actually, Riot's going to go down. You have a soldier, and that's Fane. Gets bounced around a lot, but he gets the force out. Really nice job from him. Not sure that was 100% necessary from Doge, but he respects the rocket there from Fane, and he's just going to pop it in. That's going to be a 100% Uber advantage coming out from Dogroll. And now they're just going to wait for these spawns. And then they have this prime opportunity to get ahead in this Grand Finals.
Yeah, definitely. And an early lead is definitely the best type to take. With all 6 players of Happy Feet up in this lobby area, they just have to choose what door they want to push through, and then they're going to use straight through it. So the flank getting healed up a little bit by Doggerel. Looks like Redcoat and Aisho, they're going to go through this top right area straight into the gun. It will fall immediately. And then they're actually just going to look at playing the point. Aisho having to get a little bit of a flash, but with Riot and Paulson both falling, Enrith now as well, just Sam and Dork. And actually Sam, he'll get dealt with very quickly, as that is going to be, as we pre-alluded, a very clean and quick first round for Happy Feet, taking advantage of the full Uber.
Very, very smooth. That was basically a perfect push. They only lost a single player in that entire exchange, so that's really strong. Getting the Uber push out, getting the perfect push out, so they are going to be feeling themselves right now. So you see some soldiers being pretty quick, but they're not really putting on any pressure onto these demos early on.
Yeah, not just yet. You've got Headcavers looking to take their own right side. Riot jumping up to take control of the bell tower very early with Paulson, but yet took a lot of damage beforehand, so he's gonna have to die. And actually, the Doge, he's already all the way out. The chase is on from Happy Feet this time. Looks like Paulson may get caught out low as surfing that rocket away very nicely. He will do enough damage to Aisho to spook him away, so even Uber situation again. It's Doge.
They hadn't seen him at all. He was going to jump in here. That's a bit of a suicide there, but he was just going for the medic drop there, which is kind of fine. It's even over, so it doesn't have too much of any kind of consequence there, so that's fine. But like Redcoat, he kind of snuck his way in there. He was actually like spamming stickies on the medic, and the medic clearly hadn't seen him. That's why I was kind of panicking, and luckily Doge didn't panic. And like pop.
He did
But
not.
I'm pretty sure like if Redcoat had shot like a few stickies, like maybe that would have worked better.
Boo. I saw down on Spy and Spawn, but instead he was just checking for the sniper because he's coming up on it himself. Although, I see Dork. Wait, someone was on Spy. Who's on Spy? Sam's on Spy, and he's
Sam's
actually out of Spawn. Oh, okay. Okay, we have the Spy versus the Sniper for the off classes. We're going to see who's going to be able to get something done. First is Down and Sam. They're actually going to cross paths, but Sam, it looks like
he's got the easy sniper if he wants it. Like, that's the easy sniper pick. Like he could go for something bigger like a medic or a demo man, you know.
I
But
think that
he
might be what he's doing.
Yeah, he's just ignored the sniper. He's just called where he is, but hey, Riot still falls victim to it. So that was a nice little feet shot there from Down.
Sorry, Sam, he was right in position, just got knocked out of the way right as he was about to stab the back of Redcoat. And this might open something for Happy Feet. It tried to make something happen, but with Yule and Fane both dying to the gun, and Down still on Sniper, they may need to get pretty passive on the second point here. There's 2 players down, even with the off classes, it's enough to try and pressure lobby. And yeah, we're going to see Headcavers do that just now, as the force does come out from Paulson on to Doggerel. So the force going the other way this time. Headcave is ending up with the 100% Uber advantage. I think we're going to see these off classes disappear. Yes, everyone is back to their normal class. It's going to see the push out. They try to, push out of this lab, get themselves back into this game.
Fane, he has got the big flank position there, hoping to maybe sneak his way in behind or come in with a big bomb to force out the medic, but that's going to push through that way, so Yule's going to be the flanking guy who gets the Uber force out. Nice jump in the frame, and he's not even dead yet. Fane has died, but Yule is actually behind lines. I don't think he's going to go for a back cap. He doesn't have enough capping power to actually go for anything, but he's just going to take a 1v1 with Riot and actually win it. So Yule causing absolute havoc behind lines. It's basically just a giant distraction for everyone. Look how many people actually had to run back. It's only and that's forward here actually holding any kind of joke. Everyone else was back, and yeah, it's just going to mean everyone's going to be able to walk through this joke for free.
Yeah, definitely Paulson coming in with the bomb. Doggerel, nice surf away from the second rocket. As yeah, that's going to be Headcavers giving up the second point, still at a massive disadvantage. And with that soldier down, they might look at pushing something. Aisho and Redcoat are both aggressive in lobby, looking for Doggerel to come forward, and they're already in before this point's being capped. Dealing with the gun on the point, Aisho, he's walking forward, not playing the cap this time, but Doge has gotten the Uber in a very good time, so Doggerel, he's going to fall before he can get out of lower. And the Uber coming out from Doge, that's going to feel really good because they've gotten the medic pick. You're going to have the aggression coming in from Happy Feet right now, down right on top of Doge, and Spawn will manage to clean him up as the rest of Happy Feet will fall. But with a 20-second respawn on Doge, that pretty much negates the early pick onto Doggerel that Headcave has got.
Yeah, Doggerel with the absolute like veteran move of dying super quickly so you can spawn earlier and have an Uber advantage. Well played there. No, I don't think he actually expected Uber to come in that early, so he just kind of got picked off. But they're going to be left in a situation where they have Uber and actually heal advantage as well. Enmith though with a nice pipe onto Yule, just absolutely shuts him down, just denies him super hard. And look at this is going to be an actual fight.
Oh, hello. Actually, yeah, players coming in from Headcave is Sam getting 2 in choke, and one of them being Doggerel. But Doge, he's really not in a good position here. Enrith with the pipes! Oh my god, no, Redcoat! This isn't how you win the round. He's just gone to last and no one's there. No one can stop him in time. Oh no!
Snuck his way in behind, like absolutely gremlin, just in the pipes, go back to get the back cap. Man, that was such a good exchange coming out there from Headcavers, and then they lose like that. That's gonna be absolutely devastating for them. Like that just feels bad, and that's gonna be 2-0 in favor of.
Yeah, there's not many good ways to lose a round, and that's probably the worst of Dork dying very early. You're going to see Happy Feet turn their attention onto Riot, who's behind. He will fall, and that's going to, again, just be 4 players from Headcavers leaving. They need... Here's the thing, I've seen Headcavers play a good bit at the end of the season, and I feel like it's like this every time. Like, Fane, very good attempt there, but good surf from Doge to keep him out of the Rocket's path. But yeah, Headcavers, like they'll send in Riot aggressively, and then they'll normally lose a scout, which is typically Dork. Sometimes they'll have the other soldier bomb in as well, but they just lose 1 or 2 players and then leave mid, which I think it's fine sometimes to make that call. But if they're not winning mid, if they lose the first player, then Doge is practically already out. So they need to be winning mids for them to be, fairly competitive in this game. Otherwise, they're just going to end up holding second every single time, and sometimes last. As we do have
Yule's
Down
in.
and Yule. Oh, that was a good force. Good force. As Doge will use and Fane will get out alive.
Yeah, and they've actually already wrapped around. I don't think anyone realizes. Look at this, they're already in cafe. There's actually a scout behind. He's going to get the force out, so that's actually pretty nice. Both scouts have gone down, however. So everyone else just kind of needs to get out of here. Nice jump in there from Redcoat. That's just going to shut down the shutter door. No problem there. But look at this. They're actually just going to run around and actually take a fight. This is like one of those rare fights where Scout are barely even involved. Medic's going to go down. Nice jump in there from Paulson. Takes him down. Medic is still alive here, Doge, but he's being pressured super hard by this Scout. And it's a Scout in a demo. Oh, yeah. Finally, a Scout comes in, takes him down. Enrith will fall victim to the enemy demo, man. This is such an absolute quagmire, man. So much action, but no one actually able to get much of a foothold. But at the end of all of that, Blue Medic is dead, but second point has been capped.
It has, but maybe for not much longer. It looks like they're going to wait for the Enrith spawn at least. I'd say if they want to play it safe, the Sam spawn, he's only up in another 3 seconds, so it looks like, yeah, they're going to wait until he's up, take the even player fight, but they will have the full Uber advantage. Doggerel, his positioning has made him get caught out a few times here. He's backed by Cafe this time instead of Choke with Aisho, so this early use will come out, and that is the call. Aisho and Doggerel are both gone. Redcoat, actually nice double pipe onto Sam, will keep him alive, and that might be the call for Happy Feet to keep fighting this point. No, they've decided to back up. They thought about it. They're standing in the doorways ready to go in, but they'll wait for their players and try to keep this full Uber advantage. As if I'm Headcavers, this is where you look at sending in a sack.
Yeah, I think they did a quick head count, and they just realized that no, we only have 4 players alive, and they have 5. So this is a bit tenuous, and we do have this big Uber advantage for us to use. So now Doggerel, can he actually make it through this door without using it? He cannot, so he's just going to pop it immediately. Redcoat's in the skybox, and actually does take down Paulson as he desperately tries to get out of the little doorway, but nope, there's Stickies in the way, buddy. And that's going to be a second cap for sure. But Doge, he did escape. He has this full Uber advantage. But pushing out of blast can be pretty difficult as Yule tries to go for some sort of hero play, probably unnecessary there. And that's going to probably just be enough of an opening here for Headcavers to actually try and move out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, they had to use through that doorway, but I'm not sure that I quite like it. Knowing that they had a very large Uber disadvantage, it's, you know, kind of obvious to me here that Headcavers are going to look at pushing right back out, and they managed to do so without getting forced. All 6 players on Happy Feet were alive when Headcavers started to move, and now it's just going to be even Ubers with Happy Feet holding mid. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They're up 2-0. They're in a comfortable position. I mean, they haven't not had mid this entire map, I think. Don't think Headcavers managed to get it in the first round. So, I mean, you know, they'll be happy. They managed to even out the Uber, even players. No off classes just yet. But as I say that, Fane did hold the door open for down, so they might expect something if Headcavers are doing a little bit of probing here, or maybe go back for an off class of their own. But down, he's got a good opportunity here on the spot.
It's usually pretty difficult to spot if a scout is missing, because scouts are very often just kind of holding far back and not really in vision of you. So this is going to be pretty difficult for them to actually just anticipate. But it looks like both scouts are currently like circling around looking for a potential spy.
Yeah, Doge, he's jumping back and forward between these 2 platforms. Down
he's going.
Oh,
this medic still hasn't seen it.
oh my god!
Oh, wow.
He went unseen that entire time. He had the opportunity for the stab. It was a little awkward because Doge was in the air. But goddamn, we're gonna see the Redcoat and Aisho Uber. It's just such a scary combo when you see it walking into you and you are not Ubered. They're gonna claim second. Paulson gonna come in for a little bit of a sack attempt, jumping all the way around, drawing the eyes of every Happy Feet player alive, as I imagine they're gonna leave Down and Fane to deal with that. As Aisho, Redcoat, and Doggerel, they were getting into lobby to prepare, but I think they've underestimated the effect of the Paulson flank right now, needing to go back, and actually all 6 players dealing with them. So they might use this as an opening.
Yeah, they ended up dealing with that really well. They are now in a situation where they probably want to wait for the Uber advantage where they don't lose anyone, so I expect a few seconds of complete inactivity coming out of Happy Feet here. I think that's the smart move, and that looks like what they're doing right now, just getting everyone healed up, getting some good, nice buffs going, and then they're just going to Uber in with Uber advantage, and Doge is going to be about on 50% when this comes in, and here we go.
Yeah, definitely that gun again going to be the first target on the point. Uber just about fading for Happy Feet, as the gun's the only thing they found. Riot! Really nice rocket from Yule taking him down. Sam and Paulson to fall as well, but they've lost Redcoat, and the health for Headcavers is absolutely shocking, as that's going to be another, I'd call that another pretty convincing round from Happy Feet.
Yeah, they still haven't like lost mid yet, it seems. So definitely seems like they are on top of this, and just I wonder, was this Headcavers map pick? It wasn't, right?
This was Happy Feet's map pick, as we have Enrith doing a little bit of a different rollout this time, to go through Valley and take his team up the left side. They found the first pick this time onto Down with Paulson on the bell tower, pretty much uncontested, falling on top of Redcoat, so much damage to be done, and they will claim 4 kills. Aisho having to stay in the mid, and that's going to be Doggerel. He should have just kill bound, and that's going to put him on a very late spawn, 8 seconds behind the rest of his team, and a flawless mid coming out on the 4th by Headcavers. That's the type of change I wanted to see.
Absolutely. This is the beginning of a comeback, if I ever seen any. They're going to get second for free, obviously. So they're just going to have this full Uber advantage going into last, and they have all the setup time that they need. Doggo's not going to have Uber at all. He can buff his team, and that's about it. Maybe there's going to be a sentry gun. It's still level 1, so that is not even that big yet. And this is just the best opportunity they could possibly hope for Headcavers.
Yeah, not a better opportunity to claim a round. And with 3 of the Happy Feet players in spawn, you'd think it would have been very easy, but Redcoat and Yule, along with Fane, combining for 4 kills. And, Enrith, he's had to leave Doge a little bit. Massive bomb in from Redcoat will manage to keep him out, you'd think, but the stickies from Redcoat not being enough. It's going to be Aisho walking into the choke. He will trade his life for the medic kill, but that's generally a pretty good trade. His own medic of Doggerel is still alive. Fane taking a fight on the flank. Little dangerous here. Sam, Paulson, and Riot all chasing into lobby for that kill. I think this is a good opportunity for Happy Feet to leave. Sam, he's very aggressive.
He gets
Will
it.
get dog roll. Oh no, the other player's just not thinking the threat was there. And that's going to be Headcavers taking second back for themselves. And if Doge can get... Oh no, Doge has no one to heal. It's probably going to end up being even Ubers here. So not as much of an advantage as Headcavers would like, but Happy Feet won't know the better, so they will most likely be stuck on last here.
That was a hell of a salvage there coming out of Headcavers.
Yeah.
I was not expecting them to push there at all. They had no heals, but they just did a really good job of actually just pinning down the flank and getting a bunch of early kills, and then they just sort of won the DM fight after that and went in, just got the medic. And it's kind of the same thing that Happy Feet did against the full Uber advantage, where they just pressured the flank really hard, and actually they lost a bunch of players there on the flank, and that's kind of why they ended up losing the Uber push. So, and I'm kind of interested to see if they're going to go for some sort of dot push, because they might think they have an Uber advantage. It's very often that you see players just kind of forget that they weren't healing a bunch. Now it looks like they're better kind of Uber than I am, so good on them. We're going to just settle in here for a little while, but you know, they don't have that much time to work with. We're not in panic mode time yet, but they definitely can't afford to have long periods of inactivity.
No, and they're going to look at ending the current period of inactivity. Uber's being traded. The gun won't even go down where all of Headcavers fire when Sam will die on the exit, getting caught by a trap by Redcoat. And Headcavers, they're going to look at taking the high ground on the point, but they want to fight, not backing up too far just yet. Oh, Scotty.
See you later, down.
Good rockets to deny the sack attempt, and I mean that, you see, it can make an opening for sack attempt. And Fane, very nice positioning from Dork. Paulson getting pinned into a corner and his body left on the roof. You know, I mean, good sack attempt. I mean, what are you going to do when the gun's in the middle of the point, the medic's standing right next to it? There's not a lot you really can do as a soldier there, so I mean, good effort, but not what his
just
team
gotta
wanted.
splash him. Yeah. Just hope you can like do enough damage before you take enough damage, and yeah, didn't quite do it there. Like this gun just pushes you away so far that your rockets are doing like 30 damage. But they're just gonna Uber in again here. They don't want to wait. These exchanges, but nice hold there from Dog Roll, so that's gonna be a clearly superior Uber for Happy Feet, and they're just gonna push everyone back out. Don't think they're gonna be dumb enough to chase, and they're just gonna sit back there and just be really happy with the solid position on last.
Yeah, definitely. And this gun, Aisho did actually, I think he got off of Engineer. I don't think the gun went down. So it might actually open something up. Paulson going down, actually a lot of Headcavers players following him. Both scouts falling on a delayed spawn wave as well, getting unlucky there. Riot, he's looking to leave through lobby, has found himself 2 packs. And Aisho, he's very persistent here. Normally you'd expect him to windows, but very nice rockets from Riot will lock him out. And that will actually give Headcavers the player advantage for now. With a long spawn on Aisho, I can definitely see them pushing this. But Paulson, Sam, both falling. Dork and Riot to follow. Doge, the only one alive, and yet he makes the smart call. He killbinds, puts a jump map or a surf map command in the chat with it. As he'll be on the same spawn wave as everyone else, but Redcoat. I think they know.
Yeah, Redcoat. Yeah, they definitely do. Maybe they're gonna try and be cheeky and just do like a tiny little peek in there, but no, they're not gonna fall for the easy trap there. So that's gonna be another full Uber advantage for Dog Roll after they just win this huge DM fight. And once again, Happy Feet just showing their dominance right now. It just seems like whenever they're in any kind of trouble, they just kind of breeze passes and they just dodge that. Those issues, no problem. So they're going to come in here with this full Uber advantage, see if they can make it 4-0.
Yeah, definitely, and it's looking pretty good for them. The gun going down, a lot of damage being done to the players of Headcavers, but you got Sam in on the flank doing a lot of damage onto Aisho. Dogroll, he's been left in no man's land a little bit here, but Down has come in to support him. And with the players of Headcavers falling left, right, and center, Enrith getting knocked away from the point, that is going to be 4-0, and Happy Feet, they spent most of that round on their own last, but the moment they get off of it and in control of the game, they just managed to take it.
These pushes are just so clean. Like, they're just so good at focusing down players, pushing them back, and then knowing when to stop playing the point. It's just really good team coordination and decision making, and I'm really impressed with it. So that's going to be 4-0. They can now win this and just take the map outright and give them the first map here in this best of 5. But all sorts actually jumped the medic there and Doge, and they are going to get him barely.
Yeah, your very nice long-range rocket, but it's actually evened out right now. Headcave has been put in a really stuffy position. Sam and Enrith both falling. It's just the soldiers alive now as Riot comes through the choke. Shot down from the sky by Down. As, yeah, that's going to be another clean mid. Dog rolls alive, mid goes their way. And I think we might be seeing them close it out in a 5-0 here to start off our first map. This follows the way that the other 4 rounds have gone. Happy Feet have been very comfortable on the second point.
Absolutely. We also haven't seen them really fluff the last push when they had a big advantage to work.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe we're going to see a bit of like just adjustment here coming out of Headcavers. You know, I'm kind of interested to see how they plan to deal with the full advantage. Maybe they're going to like learn from Happy Feet and just actually push the flank. Looks like we're actually going to come in from the other side than what's sort of normal. Medic's going to get jumped immediately and taken down. A nice jump there from Red Coats.
Yeah, and that's pretty much gonna be it. They may not take the round from it, as I think it's a really awkward position. The health on the side of Headcavers is so poor, and if they had any idea, I think Down could have been really effective by just taking the beam there and walking forward, but I don't mind that call at all. At the end of the day, it was still like a 5v3 and last. You didn't have a demo, man. You really had nothing. Just a scout and a med. Bane at that point is a nothing player in that push, so they're going to delay it for now, but every minute that this game stays on second, there's going to be less time that Headcavers has to work with, as we are nearing the point in time where it is going to be impossible for them to win. Down, very aggressive play onto Doge, but it will be Redcoat with the pipes to clean it up. Only 2 players alive, Sam the last one, as Aisho is going to run to last, and Taunt on the point to round it out 5-0 in 23 minutes, Peter.
That was way more dominant than I ever thought. I know it's their map pick and everything, but I was expecting this to be a very close game. But no, Happy Feet, they came to play. They are just on point all the time. They barely ever got pushed back beyond their own midpoint. And, you know, it's not like a 15 or 10 minute roll, but it might as well have been. Like, it felt that close, or like that one-sided to me. It was just really good pushes, really good defenses. Like, whenever they had an advantage, they capitalized on it, and whenever they were at a disadvantage, they kind of managed to dissipate it really well. So, yeah, really great job by them.
Yeah, definitely doing a lot, but you don't need to hear that from us. We're going to pass it back to Elmo and DuMmTm to take a deeper look into that first map. Take it away, boys.
All right, well, that was, like you guys already said, very much a very controlled game by Happy Feet. What did you see there, Elmo?
I mean, yeah, definitely, like you said, total domination. Just the stats coming up on stream now, and just if going 21-7 and like 2k above the other demo, 1500 above like the second top damage player is just insane. Redcoat absolutely destroyed, like completely just dominated. Like I don't think I ever really finished him when he got, like there was one of those last couple, I think it was the last mid, he just like pipes the people on him and just lives somehow when he deserves to die. Like he just completely and utterly dominated. Really, I think a lot of the time at mids, they were kind of doing double solo aggression, but Riot would just die, and that made it really open. Like you saw that the only mid, I should say, that Headcavers won is because Riot crushed Down, and they won off that, but the rest of the time, Riot was just getting crushed.
Yeah, it was quite the show by Happy Feet. They very much played this one as controlled as possible. They never really played super slow, but it wasn't like the fastest game, especially for, 5-0 necessarily as well, despite not going to 30 minutes. Just some stretches where they took their time to get themselves together, got the plays going that they wanted, and knew exactly that what they wanted to do, what they wanted to get away with. Hence, also like these like longer stretches for the game. But it was a little bit stalemate, but it was just Happy Feet keeping Headcavers on last because they felt so confident keeping them there. I think at one point they opted not to push off like an Uber ad, knowing that, or not pushing off an Uber ad, I think, knowing that the player situation will just keep them on second, and that's like, why bother pushing or like acting off the Uber ad there when they could just play the numbers, keep them on last, and just make it as hard as possible for them to get out of last. Which was, I think, the 1-0 round, and eventually it led to a backup. they just let headcavers run into a wall for so long in the early stages of the game that eventually, even if it was still possible after the mid-win in the 3-0 round, it just didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, like you said, like the only round they really had a chance in was that one where they were on last, and there was kind of just whiff pushes. But I mean, Sunshine is kind of notorious for being hard to push at last. Like you can hold it for ages. Like the grand final last season, it was held for probably half the map with just being up and then holding last. So Headcavers kind of whiffed a bit for those. They can be excused. I think they kind of tried a bit too hard to push out, especially in those first 2 rounds. They were kind of like, oh, we're not that far behind. We'll just go for kind of a push that they probably shouldn't have. And so they kind of like negated like the hardest thing to do on the map is just they let Happy Feet just crush them at second as they walked out, and then they walked to last, and that happened twice or something. And it's like, well, if you just kind of give them 2 rounds rather than bunkering down, like if they bunker down at 1-0 and wait till they actually get a full crush and then take second for free, like that map's completely different, except they try and force it and they just lose 2-0, or they're down 2-0 after that point, and that's where you probably shouldn't get worried. It's only 10 minutes in, but that's where you start kind of gets into the back of your mind, and then they get crushed at mid again and lose last straight away. It's kind of weighs on your mind and makes you kind of make mistakes and all that.
Yeah, large parts of this were definitely headcavers just making mistakes, and Happy Feet very well aware of that, abusing that fact to the best advantage they can. A lot of like minor moments as well, especially on like pushouts and things of the like, where it was bad positioning out of a lot of headcavers. A lot of moments where it was like very confused how Doge ended up alone in situations. I think there was at one point even like the moment where he had like miraculously dodged the Demo Man for like a good 10 seconds, got away with it, and then the scout still sneaks past otherwise.
Yeah, I think that was
anyways.
just they were all dead in that one. But yeah, I know what you mean. I think especially at mids as well. Obviously the stats show it, but kind of Redcoat and his Sullies just worked so much better together at the mids. Like they crushed almost all of them, and as I said, the Sullies weren't really doing work, but a lot of that can just be your coordination's not there, and Redcoat and Yule and Fane were just completely on point pretty much all game. Like Yule and Fane probably didn't really get many kills, but if your demo's on 20 kills, you have to be doing something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter how many kills you get, as long as all the ones you do get matter, and they clearly did. I think there was one last push where they popped in right, and that was a failed one for Headcavers. They just pushed in on the one side, and the soldiers just pushed in on the other and destroyed them completely. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
we are
already on
live.
to the next map, so we'll head off. Hopefully a bit closer on this one.
Yeah, Redcoat, he did a lot of work on the first map, but if there's any map on mid where you can focus down on Delman, this is the one, Michael.
Yeah, and you can already see it happening. Enrith getting so much faster than Redcoat onto the mid. Redcoat not even able to get his own pack, and Fane falling so early. Gonna see Happy Feet pulling a bit of a head cave as they're out with one player down, looking to take this second fight. Sam, he's already through the door. He might be in a tough spot here as he's totally isolated, taking the one-on-one against down, and he will fall. Yeah, we're gonna see. Oh, we're 50 seconds in. We might already be seeing the classic Granary Yard stalemate. Hooray.
Yeah, this is usually where you see either one of I don't know, 3 things. Right, you see soldiers jumping in, you see scouts trying to run in through left and take a 1v1, which we kind of just saw with Sam, and then you see like weird stuff like banner plays or sniper try to charge up a shot through the little drop down door, whatever you want to call it. Right, those are basically the 3 things that tend to happen here in this kind of stalemate, and no soldiers on banner yet. Sam's actually going to go for the sniper play, so a bit weird, but yeah, you can definitely get a good first shot, and there are a couple of nice little angles that you can get to at the sniper.
Yeah, we've got 2 out of the 3 so far. Sam, nice body shot onto Yule, converted into the wide swing headshot. Good stuff from him there, as that's going to keep his team in the advantage, but the sniper does go down, and the Uber comes out from Dogroll here. I'm not too sure what that was on. Maybe looking to take a trade on Yule?
I think they thought Doge was like right around the corner, but he wasn't.
Yeah.
So this was just a disaster.
Wait, no, yeah, they definitely didn't take the shot. Yeah, no, they didn't want to take the trade on Yule. He died to the sniper. Yeah, that was a That's a bit questionable there. You've got down already on last on the engineer. And yeah, they're going to have to probably give up second here. Not in a position to fight it with the full Uber disadvantage as the Headcaver's Bush is coming in through the lunchbox area right now. Going to take this height and probably look to push it straight through onto pipe if I were to take a guess. But no, they will drop down and actually, oh, this is the pound Uber from Enrith coming in, taking down Redcoat and Fade, rolling it straight to last. The gun will be found right as the Uber fades though. It won't go down, but the engineer will be swapped off by down. You've got some aggression coming in from Aisha, see if he can catch things, but the heals are still there. But Happy Feet, they don't want to sit on their last for too long. Full Uber coming up, they're going to try and get out of here into second.
Nice heads up play there to actually put up a sentry gun like way before you even lost second point. And that actually bought a ton of time. They spend a bunch of time just trying to take that down. The soldier up in the rafters, they're doing his best at Paulson, just being a distraction and a nuisance and just threatening to jump in there, but he has been taken down. Second soldier is desperately retreating, but this spy, oh, so close yet so far.
He got swagged upon by Redcoat, instant turnaround. So we've got the last players of Headcavers, they're backing out of mid, right? Fairly low, but we'll get out and get some heals. But Ubers will even up. It's not the end of the world for Headcavers. They're not in the same position that they were last time. But, you know, if we saw any trend from Sunshine, it's give Happy Feet mid and they will take a round. So they've got mid in their favor. Let's see if they manage to convert it.
I think you're being a Debbie Downer. This is a completely different map. They've got this. They've got this.
Headcaver pick. Positivity, they can do it. They wouldn't pick it if they wouldn't pick it if they couldn't.
Exactly, that's the spirit. As they're just kind of like trying to see if they can pressure out some sticky traps or maybe get a Soldier to overextend a little bit here. But Headcavers, they're being really disciplined and just not falling for any of it. So I'm kind of curious what the plan is right now for good old Happy Feet here. Like, what's their actual plan? Like, very often you'll see like a soldier will jump through right side once everyone is distracted over on the left, and so that could be a thing. But I mean, he's giving away his position, so he's just kind of spamming in here. And Doge is actually, he has gone down to 90 HP, so he's taking some spam. So if a soldier can actually make his way in right now, it's going to be very dangerous. And yeah, Enrith actually goes down to the double sack.
Yeah, different bomb in from what you'd expect, going for the demo instead of the medic. And Sam, he's taken this opportunity of the double kill from Paulson to get through Death Corner. But no, Paulson will go down to the pipes, and with no demo, no pocket, this is going to be a push. The Uber will end up coming out from dog roll as they go far left to clean up right, and then they double back around, take this yard area. They need to get in here really soon, otherwise they're just going to get solo Ubered. Enrith has met up with the rest of his team, so it won't be a solo Uber if one comes out. You've got Fane going far behind. Nice rocket to kill Dog. But
that was
yeah.
like a super aggressive pop there from Doge. I think he just expected Yule to be on him, but he wasn't. He was just ignoring him entirely. So that was just a wasted pop coming out of from Doge. Kind of panicking. Maybe the pressure's getting to him. I'm not sure. Yule has at least been cleaned up. He's gonna be Paulson jumping in very aggressively, trying to get to the medic, but there's like a big fat demo man in the way. But Redcoat, he has been completely caught in, so this is kind of working out for them. And if they can just like get in here before that Uber comes in, that's going to be really good for them. But yeah, so that fat finger Uber was a bit weird from Doge.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. It's going to end up being full Uber advantage for Happy Feet. They're looking to take it in. Both soldiers in, look at taking it, and oh, Riot. He goes down in Death Corner. Without anybody else falling, Fane got pretty low, but he'll get healed up. A nice arrow and a pack to bring him to full health. And you're going to see the Uber coming out. This is through far left. Actually, no, hang on. No, sorry, never mind. I'm being tricked by the in-game chat. No Ubers have been used, but that was just Doge coming up on his Uber.
Yeah,
goddamn being tricked.
Stream stat. So now we're going to actually get this Uber in. It's going to be two demo men, all shiny, looking at each other, trying to see if they can trap each other out in this Uber. And actually, it's going to be Dog that ends up dying first. And that's going to mean that everyone else is just going to retreat here. So Paulson has also died as well. Fane's going to jump in, see if he can get something, and he gets a demo man. That's a huge pick. That's going to cause a full retreat. And somehow Fane's not dying either. This is a disaster right now for Headcavers. They need to just retreat, get the hell out of here, see if they can hold last. But I mean, Sam's just going to be alone on this pipe, just all on his lonesome. Can he actually do it? Oh, what a shot there coming out from Paulson. 2 nice rockets there, but I think it's not going to be enough. Everyone's just piling onto the point. That's going to be that. Heavy's not enough even, and that's going to be 1-0 for Happy Feet, and they're just kind of continuing their strong form into the second map.
Yeah, definitely taking that momentum. I hate to say it, but they took mid and then they took the round, never lost it. So Happy Feet, they're playing this momentum game really well. As Redcoat, his rollout is shocking. Edrith is on mid several seconds and can get most of his stickies off before Redcoat's even through the door. But the high bomb coming in from Fane and Yule looking to jump with right. He will trade himself for it. Door Crater and people fall to their deaths this mid. All players on Headcavers dying so far will be to that. Sam will be the first one to not fall to gravity, as that's going to be Enrith and Doge backing out.
They're managing to take down the Demo Man, which is nice, but they needed a bit more in these mids. The Enrith surviving is actually kind of nice, just because you should check for so Sticky Trap. Actually, Fane's going to be trying to hide forward here, but that's going to backfire on him really heavily. This could actually cause his team to lose a bunch of space right now. Doggo actually on a slight Uber advantage, but he's not going to know about it. I'm pretty sure he was just going to assume that it's even. And yeah, Fane actually hiding up top there, trying to make a play. Actually going to backfire enough for his team to lose second, and now this is a much more difficult push and situation to be in for him, for Happy Feet here. And I kind of like the stalemate. Look how much action you actually have. People just running around in circles around each other, and then people are following other people around in the same circles, and then like other semi-circles are overlapping with them, and we're gonna get all of this in one nice, wonderful action. As soldiers are outside in the yard right now. Nice little trade there from Paulson. Paulson had some really nice rockets so far this map. He's kind of popping off.
Yeah, Granary second. I'm finding out very similar to my grade 10 geometry class. I'm not a fan, honestly. Sam, not a fan of the pipes either. He's going to find himself behind Fane. Fane eats one shot, turns around. Sam is in the ground as Aisho is actually getting pretty aggressive into second here, poking around, doing some chip damage to Enrith. Nothing will come of it, though.
Let's see if Fane decides to do something funny, and he is on Spy already. He hasn't moved out of the spawn just yet, but he could decide to do something. Like, you can snipe on second. It's sort of weird, but you can take the entire left side and get some pretty decent peeks. And actually, Sam's going to go sniper. I was going to say as well, but it looks like Fane has decided to just run back on the soldier. I don't see a banner on him, I don't think. Nope. No banner at all.
Fane was checking for the sniper, and I believe he did end up finding it. I saw him do one last disguise before he left out of spawn, and then he very quickly went soldier and went. So you're going to see double soldier aggression onto Riot on the balcony here, but Fane will eat a good chunk of damage and have to fall back, get some arrows from Doggerel. Sam, yeah, they've definitely spotted him now, but I had a feeling they'd a pretty good idea before then.
Yeah, so Fane actually just casually walked through a sticky trap before. It was pretty funny. Like, completely ignored it and kind of got away with it. So, yeah, now it's just going to be a matter of, like, what kind of angles is Sam going to get. Like, the thing that I really like about this stalemate situation is that it's just a bit too wide and, like, broken up for the defending team to actually hold all the areas properly. So if you want to hold both shutter doors, then someone's going to be overextended. Like, especially when you have a sniper in the mix, that's kind of just going to exacerbate that issue. So there's just a bit too much space and a few, like, one man too little to actually hold it. And actually Sam is going to get that nice pick. He peeks through the shutter door. That's going to open it up. 2 soldiers against 1. Dane should die here. He does indeed. And now all of a sudden, this is 2 picked, and Ubers are out of the way here. Ubers are slightly in favor of Happy Feet, but I think that the man advantage is just too much, and they're going to have to get out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Aisho falling right as one of his soldiers spawn. They're not going to be able to fight this midpoint at all. 3 players down by the time Headcavers are in, but they're looking to make an entrance through top here, and you're doing a little bit of a jump, but now going straight up in the air. Sam will fall, so there's no risk of the sniper. But yeah, with Redcoat being left in alone, Fane managing to get a clean-up kill on the pulse, and it's 2 apiece, Scout Soldier for Scout Demo Man. But Happy Feet, they're feeling themselves.
Fane's
They're
in on medic.
Oh
Gets it.
no!
And Riot as well. Gonna go down. That was a really nice bomb in here. That's gonna block mid and cause enough players to die that this yard is almost certainly gonna fall as well. There are gonna be some sticky traps. They're gonna need to be cleared before any kind of push can go in here. This is sort of the thing with the Granny where people often call it the CP map, just because the yard area is kind of, it almost works as a separate area in here. Stickies have not been cleared. Oh, but no one has fallen through them either. So looks like they have taken this yard indeed, and they have this full Uber advantage to take second with. And who knows, maybe they're going to be able to just bully them out of here. It looks like that's not going to be the case, but Uber has popped, and yeah, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, I like that prioritization on the kill, but the thing is, the combo of Happy Feet, they're going into last, looking to kill this gun. They will get it. Aisha falling very low, will get beamed up, but no one on Happy Feet, apart from the combo, is in second. Sam is running circles around them on mid of all points while they're trying to fight last. Scout v Scout there, Down will retreat and back up with his team. As it will be practically even Ubers here. Paulson trying to make something happen forward. Sam, he's on to Redcoat, but will fall, not managing to get the kill. Not what they want with a 20-second respawn on him, matching a bad side of the spawn wave. And regardless, Headcavers, they're looking to push in. It ended up with a slight Uber advantage while it was relatively even before.
Oh, the backup, though, the backup downs on it. Oh, gets it.
No.
Just sneaks in there, caps it out, gives them the shot before the taunt. Doesn't get any worse than that. It just feels so bad, and hopefully it doesn't. We don't see what we saw in the first map where that just kind of breaks the back of Headcavers, and it just all rolls out of control from them from there. Man, that is heartbreaking, because they were kind of taking like a small risk and then immediately get punished.
Yeah, definitely. Right, going down very early. Looks like Dork might fall as well. He does actually get out in time, but instead it's going to be Paulson, and Sam Fane will die for it. Actually down as well. I believe that was to some stickies by Enrith as he was coming through Death Corner, but that's a rough one to lose. Both soldiers dying. They'll be able to get a setup onto second, but another mid by Happy Feet. It's just it's a bad omen.
Yeah, indeed. They actually managed to not lose the yard area here. They just push back out and get it. I do see a sniper. Is he in spawn still? He is. He's standing very still, so maybe he's just kind of trying to trick them. I'm not sure. I think that's what he was doing. He was just kind of standing around the sniper for a long time, hoping they were going to maybe spy check a bit, see the sniper, and then go back, and then he's going to be like, haha, I was the spy this whole entire time. So he's probably like disguised as a sniper at this point, and then he's going to move in. He's not even going to show himself on sniper. Just going to cloak in here, hope not to bump into anyone, and so far so good. Has avoided the accidental bump.
Yes, Paulson and Neil trade and rockets. Down has managed to get behind successfully, and he's going to be looking for Doge now. They don't really suspect it as of yet, but with the positioning that Sam's taking to be in a counter-sack position, it's going to be a little rough. And I think they need to lay off on the spam on Doge a little bit here, make him comfortable. So he's backing away from Down right now.
Well, he just ate a giant one, like big rock. It just did like 48 damage to him. So he's gonna be pretty sketchy.
Is Doge about to go back to where Down was before? Oh my god, Doge has just swapped completely where he was. He was playing so close to the house before, and the moment Down goes over to the boiler, Doge starts playing towards the crates. It's not impossible. Down has plenty of opportunities. It's just a matter of finding it. He
gets it. Perfect timing
no.
there.
The beautiful plays. And yeah, that's just the Uber, dominating Uber. Everyone who can get a flash will. You've got two players going behind on the mid, but they just don't want to do anything yet. They can't outcap it. Sam Riot.
Oh, Riot jumped up through the drop down there. That was really smooth. That was very quick. They also lost Redcoat in that exchange, so he's not in here, but Scout's going to jump on it. Everyone's in spawn, and that's going to be that super quick round. That was, it kind of feels like there's a bit of beefing going on right now as well.
I'm not sure
man.
quite what Sam was spawn camping down, and Riot, I mean, he took some time going through the drop down. They both could have just gone to second and tried to make that play not happen. But oh my god, Enrith, again, his hits are so much better than Redcoat. They need to convert it. They managed to do the first one, they couldn't get a round off of it. Let's see what they can do this time. The double, actually triple bomb coming in, Redcoat going up as well. Doge will die, as Redcoat and Dogro will both fall as well. Dork Sam dying, no scouts on the side of Headcavers, as it's looking like a bit of a loss for them. Paulson is behind, but they know he's there. He's making a big old racket. And everyone's watching him. He will get found by Fane and will not crater. Rather, Yul will claim the kill. But with both medics going down, mid finally gets caught by Happy Feet. As we'll have even Ubers. So it's not the end of the world. Redcoat will be a little slow to the fight because he does need to stay with his medic. No scouts going back. And
This is still looking
second.
very similar to what we saw before. Soldier's going to jump in here, doesn't get anything. You'll try to time it out perfectly there.
Cool.
I just barely missed it. He's just waiting for an error now. But basically, this is exactly the same situation as before, except there's one more round on the board for Happy Feet. So they are just continuing the absolute domination so far in this game. And, you know, we did manage to jinx it by saying that ozfortress finals are usually really good. They never end 3-0. So perhaps this is just the caster's curse in action here, and this is just an inevitable roll. Like, that's gonna happen 100%. So the jump through drop down, actually gets a nice pick there. I think that was Riot. Yeah, it just drops down, and the wraparound play as well. Pretty wild stuff going on right now.
Yeah, but definitely the Uber coming out from Happy Feet. I favour them a bit here if they were to play more towards second, but they're just getting caught in this yard area right next to the shutter, and they are gonna wipe completely.
Wow. That was perfect. Everything just worked out for them there. Some people tried to run forward for Happy Feet into second, but they just got the 1v1 by a scout and taken down. So it didn't work out at all. So the big wraparound play, Sorter comes through drop down, gets a kill. It just all worked out really well for Headcavers right there. Let's hope and wait and see if they can actually ride this momentum. There's going to be a sniper in forward spawn. That's pretty standard. So yeah, they're not falling for that. They're just going through the left side here. They know about that kind of stuff. But hey, maybe a scout's going to show his face. He's actually spotted the sniper right now, so they know about it. They have the Uber advantage as well. So this is Headcavers' chance. They can just ride this momentum. They can come right back in this game.
They can, and with 10 minutes left, Doge, no! 96% Yule with the huge play, essentially killing all momentum that Headcavers have. They try to play the point a little bit. Riot will fall. And that's just a tragedy. Sam's going to die in Lunchbox as well as the rest of Headcavers. They're going to turn tail and back out. Most of them on mid. Enrith, the final one, retreating. He's out of Garage now.
Oh, that was all my fault, man. I'm sorry for jinxing it, man. God, I just said exactly what needed not to happen, and then it happened. Every time, man.
Happy Feet are listening.
Yeah, Riot's in super deep. Yeah, he's going to just get a ton of space, and actually Redcoat will go down. That's a good job by him. Dugwall going to take some damage here. Soldiers are in onto him pretty aggressively. He's just going to pop it out. Fane will actually go down to Riot here as well. So that's an Uber force without losing too many players. Envy's going to go down there at the end of that Uber though. So all of a sudden it is a lot of players. And it's just going to be Sam and a medic. But they might get a few forward spawners here to hold on to second. And they do have the Uber advantage as well. So if they don't get pushed too far back, they're going to be in a pretty good position to push forward here. And, you know, those just need to not die. That's all they need to have happen here.
He has Uber this time. He's not one to drop, so I think he's pretty safe now. But Happy Feet, they opted to not take second, slowed it down, and they're just going to play yard. 8.5 minutes left. It is really tight right now, especially with the kind of the slower pace that this game has ended up being. Sam will die in the combo. Nice spam coming out from Yule. That did so much damage to everyone. And this might be their opportunity to push on the side of Happy Feet. Coming up on their Uber now. Redcoat, he was looking like he might have gone through Death Corner. But instead it's going to be actually Fane taking a buff. He'll go for a sack through there and just get shut down. I believe at least. Nice rocket on the Doge. Not as shut down as I thought he was. Dork letting him through a bit. Oh, massive bomb in from Yule. Got really deep. Doge was too far to the pack. If he had done that a second earlier, it may have been a force or even a drop. Didn't look like Doge had any idea. Oh no.
Yeah, it
Could
ended up being like just a bit too stuttered and one at a time they came in. So Uber has actually come out here and look at this, the milking of dog. Well, actually, they dropped Redcoat. All right, at that point, the milking is definitely not worth it, but they're going to come in with this Uber. Scout's still flashy. Soda's in the skybox. He needs an arrow, otherwise he gets the arrow. Huge arrow coming out here out of Doge. That's going to definitely save the situation quite a bit. Nice rocket there from Paulson. And he's actually somehow saving this. If he just had heals and teammates with him, he would win this fight. And actually, they are going to come in here. So some really big stuff coming out here, both from Paulson and Doge, going huge in that fight. And all of a sudden, they are back in this. They're going to get mid for sure. And Ubers are slightly in their favor. Probably not enough to push, but that was a really nice fight. There's something that they probably should have lost after they just failed to pop the enemy Uber for so long.
Yeah, definitely a really good fight coming out. I feel so bad for Redcoat in that situation. Just get dropped in death corner. You hate to see it as a demo man. You know, you're right there. I think he was even healing Redcoat, but
yeah.
Speaking of DuMmTm getting Ubers, Enrith jumping in with the leading of his, but it doesn't matter. Redcoat here, he's getting Uber this time. He's doing the counterplay fast in, going to keep Doge locked in. We'll catch him with the trap as you're going to have Paulson falling as well. Riot will go down towards Zed. Enrith and Dork are going to be the last two surviving on mid, but Happy Feet. They're no slackers when it comes to cleaning. Dork will be found and Gary should fall to Yule. He will die. And Enrith, he's back down. He's not going to die himself. Meet up with his medic and the rest of the team to get a good second hold in here, as they will get their 5th player forward spawned on Riot. Just missing Dork now, and Happy Feet, they're going to poke a little bit, but won't make anything too aggressive happen from it. Actually, as Yule goes down...
Ooh. Yeah, nice cheeks there. they made something really aggressive happen. Pain going down. That's really nice. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting them to hold second and just kind of bleed the Uber advantage out of dog roll, but no. They just go in there, get a really nice pick. Yule maybe being a bit overextended, not sure exactly what happened. Already they've got a scout going behind. Sam versus down round 2. I mean, Fane is going to see if he can get into the mix here as well. So, once again, Paul's going to go down. Sam, unfortunately, going to get found by Yule as well. So, just a bit too aggressive there coming out of head cables. It feels like they're slightly panicking right now, being a bit too aggressive when they probably don't need to.
I mean, it is close though. Only 5 minutes left and they're 3 down. They have to be really careful. Sam will fall at the forward spawn. Not what you want to see happen with even Ubers. Head cavers, they're in a tough spot here. They don't want to give up their own map pick. It's the last thing that they want to do, but they have to win 3 rounds to bring it to Golden Cap in 4.5 minutes, and Down's just walking in. I think that's an off-class play for sure, right? But Enrith, he doesn't care. Uber's going to come in. Actually, not going to achieve a whole lot. No damage done onto the side of Happy Feet as it comes in. Riot will fall on the flank. Paulson, he's looking to make something happen behind, getting a kill onto Fane, but in the meantime, Enrith has fallen to Aisho, and Paulson will combine with the scouts for a second kill onto Yule. Both soldiers down, but you've got a bit of a wrap here. Happy Feet, they've just gone into second. They're holding this time.
This is such a weird fight. Like, look, they basically switched position, but the down coming in from behind. It's going to just tip it in their favor. 2 nice kills. Redcoat survived on 7 HP. And he's holding far forward right now. Actually does get Redcoat nice bomb in here from the sword as well. Riot, he's going to get them back and even take down the scout here. As second sword is going to come in Fane. He will get the revenge onto Envy here. So perhaps we're going to get around 4 or whatever push we're on right now. But no, enough people have gone down that everyone just kind of feels like maybe we should take a chill pill. But, you know, Headcape, they can't do that. They just need to push at all times because otherwise they're 100% lost.
Yeah, and look at Aisho. He's taking this Uber straight through Zed. Will deny the point. Uber is out. Paulson will die. Sam as well. Both players for the cap will be falling. Aisho actually gets disconnected a little bit from the Uber. Puts very low. And Dog will clean him up through the shutter door. So Aisho down. Dog roll very low as will get cleaned up by Riot. But you've got down again. Slipping behind. Riot not there in time as there goes the 4th round for Happy Feet. He's a slippery little snake as this down guy.
Yeah, it looks like if there's any kind of opening, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go in there and do that. And there were a lot of openings, to be fair, just because Headcavers, they were pushing so aggressively. They knew they were so far behind.
Redcoat's on the sticky jumper and he's on mid, piping Enrith.
Pants him. He pants him.
Oh my, well, Elmo's being tricked. I'd say for the way mids have been going, it might even favour Happy Feet a bit here. Sam going down for Fane, Pulse and Yule both dying as well. And you've got the double scout fights there, and I would favour that for Happy Feet every day of the year as they do clean it up. Losing their own med, but with the late death on Doge, is going to be a slight advantage for them. As we are at this point, we are in dead time, without a doubt. 2 minutes left, up 4-0. That's why the sticky jumper came out. But if you're Happy Feet here, I mean, if I'm Happy Feet, I'm pushing for the 5-0. Make it 2-5. Crush their morale going into the third map, as they've got 2 minutes to make it happen.
You definitely don't want to drop around, that's for sure, right? Like, you want to make sure that they feel like they can't even get a single round. That's what you want to do. So, we're no longer in, like, oh, can they win this territory? We're more like in, can they break their spirits territory here, as it is 2-0 right now. They have a pretty big advantage. Is he on Crits Creek? He is on Crits Creek.
Oh no, the Redcoat crits. I don't know if anybody is prepared for this. One sticky through, whiffs completely. Second one down. As down will end up being successful with the Uber. Although he'll fall as well to the stickies of Enrith. Dog roll in Zed will get cleaned up. It's just going to be a bit of a slaughter of Happy Feet here. They may not get the round, and Redcoat sure as hell won't get any kills with that crits, but I'd say, they've done everything they need to across the past 29 minutes to secure this as a 4-0. I don't think we'll be seeing anything lost, as there's a Pyro out of forward spawn, there's a Sniper. A Sniper did get off, so nothing yet. Headcavers, they're not even going to cap mid. They're just going to look to pad their stats, pushing into second.
Yeah, you can't even spawn kit because everyone actually got out of spawn, so they're just going to push second point right now. They're actually pushing last. And, this would have been great if they actually capped mid and, all the points preceding that. But, hey, either way, they're doing a nice last push right now. They're even getting on the point. Good job, dog. You got this. Yeah, look at this. Like, they're spawn capping Medic in the weirdest spawn ever. Like, Medic is in the back spawn. He can actually go so far forward. Yeah.
He's come up on Scout because there's a spot. He doesn't want to play Medic. He wants to get this 100% act, as he will 2 shots on the Doge. Oh, he'll whiff 50% act. Can't believe it.
That's why he's Medic.
Exactly.
That's why he's Medic.
Dog roll DuMmTm gets those.
Yeah, 4-0. Once again, no rounds in the favor of Headcavers. So, just absolutely brutal. And I can't wait to hear what analysts think they need to do in order to turn this around, because I'm kind of at my wit's end at this point. It kind of feels impossible, but hopefully Headcavers feel differently, and hopefully our analysts can come up with something better to say than that.
I mean, yeah, but I think they were a lot better. Like, it wasn't so much of a crushing, but I just think that they made a lot of bad mistakes just in general, especially with Ubers. The Ubers were kind of crap a lot of the time. Like, they would have kind of an advantage and do absolutely nothing with it. And then I think Sam kind of went off and did his own thing trying to compensate for that, and it didn't really work. I like
in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, this was just a lot of the same things, a lot of the same mistakes, and a lot of the same good things out of Happy Feet like last map. A lot of repeat situations happening here on this map too. Be it just weird overextension, staying too close on Uber ad, getting called out for it for Headcavers. Be it Happy Feet starting a little bit more aggressive, but eventually just returning to having Headcavers walk into the wall. We had the backup again. We had another spy play, this time a lot more successful. So a lot of the same beats happening here. For as much as 2 maps can be similar, when they're so different between Sunshine and Granary, a very comparable kind of game that went down here, which is not a good thing, being as this is Headcavers map pick, seeing as they were confident enough to pick this here with how different the map is as well. Happy Feet still keeping this under control so much is not a good sign of things to come.
I mean, I definitely think that was more unlucky. I don't think they definitely played a lot better, but they're just kind of, they got back capped twice, and that 4-0 one doesn't really count because they had to just YOLO it, but 3-0 down, they got back capped once, And it's just like their med dropped or got 2-rocketed when they were just about to hit Uber on what you would think would probably be a win, you know? But it's just like overall kind of just got outplayed. Once again, Redcoat beasted once again. As did his solis though. Like Fane and Yule put out absolutely enormous damage. Especially, and Down was just able to clean that up while Dork wasn't, especially. And Sam died a huge amount. Like I was saying, I think he kind of tried to overplay it when the Ubers weren't going well by trying to do plays, and he kind of just got punished for it and didn't really work out. So I think they just need to kind of patch up their combo, because obviously just not really working out for them today. Like that map should have been one they could have played like more strategically, not rushed Ubers and all that kind of thing. But in the end, they kind of, whiffed Ubers a lot. There was one time the casters like, they just fat fingered it or something. I think it was the second round, or it might have even been the first, where they just pretty much Ubered on nothing when they had a full ad. And it was like, well, you can't really be doing that in a grand final, guys.
Yeah, actually a couple of those on both ends as well. Just like really early Ubers trying to go as deep as they can, but maybe just more optimistic about trying to go like the distance to try to catch a team and exchange much earlier than ever happened, and sometimes they never even got to them on both ends for that matter. So, like you said, not necessarily, especially early on, the cleanest start for Happy Feet, but Happy Feet just like ironed out those mistakes a lot more by the end than Headcavers ever did. Also on stream just a second ago here, you can just see you saw Yule's kill on Doge as well in Lunchbox as well. Like things like that, just small mistakes that slip past.
Yeah, just like you said,
yeah.
apart from Sam picking off Yule because Yule can't dodge like a few times, they didn't really make any big mistakes. Obviously, they lost a few fights, and they lost that mid where they just gave up but kept the Ruba. But apart from that, you wouldn't really say they made many mistakes. Like obviously, there's the one or two whiff is always typical, but like overall systematic, like they didn't really make any big errors. While you would say Headcavers kind of made a lot. They dropped a couple times, made a few whiffs, got back capped, all of that. So they just really need I know it's hard to say just, make your fundamentals better in a 10-minute gap, and play better. But I think they just kind of got outplayed all around, essentially. Like that when you lose, like you don't cap around, there's not too many real positives you can take out of it,
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, once again, you have like this early lead for Happy Feet that like once they have it, they just look very, very like content with just like using that to their advantage as much. Suddenly the game becomes a lot slower and they just make Headcavers make the mistakes. Once that like 1-0, 2-0 scoreline has been established, the game drags on for a lot longer maybe, but it makes it a lot easier for them to just get away with anything they want to. And at that point, the slower strats come in. They had the spy play, for example, that already came out last map, just distraction for the spy play to get to play in safely and stuff like that. Suddenly they just have time for that, and it works out brilliantly.
Yeah, so what do you think they actually have, apart from just saying, "Lol, be better," what do you think they actually need to do to have a chance of winning this? Like, this was the map I was saying, I think Happy Feet will be most dominant on, and I mean, it's kind of hard for them to be more dominant, if that's kind of even possible, as the way it's going so far. What does Headcavers need to somehow do with their current lineup that you think they can do to actually turn it around and at least get some rounds on the board, not make it kind of the most disappointing performance in probably ozfortress history?
I mean, first of all, it needs to just like the big ones were, I think, for the most part, just the push of last. They either didn't stick for too long, just they used early, didn't catch anyone, and just immediately pushed back. That happened a lot more last map, or in this case as well, with I think it was 2 backups even. Just being more careful about like what you actually use out of last, making sure you know where everyone is, and that's already a good start, right? Like Happy Feet takes so much advantage out of the fact that they get these early leads out of just like quick happy mistakes that come by on Headcavers pushing out of last. And then suddenly the pace of the game becomes so different, and it becomes a lot more easy, I think, for Headcavers if they just like hold on to their rounds better and don't even let them the chance to like slow them down as much. Make Happy Feet also have to like commit, make the mistakes as well, and they just need to make the Happy Feet's job a lot harder here to just get these runs in the first place, and then they can think about even getting some themselves.
Yeah, I think I'd like to see Sniper on this map more. I think they need to defend Sam better because he was hitting shots, but it was like a Solly would jump him and he would just die instantly. Maybe that's him trying to be too aggressive, but I feel like Sam's like a god at Sniper. So it's like if he's playing Sniper, you have to defend him at like all costs because he will kill the other team if he doesn't get jumped and instantly die. I mean, it could be get right snipe so they don't lose a scout as well, as our boy JD in chat said. It could be an idea, but I just feel like Sam's so much better that it's like if you need a hit shot, Sam will hit them. It's just you need to keep them alive in the stalemates, just because Happy Feet just played them all so much better. Like all their plays pretty much worked, while not much of Headcaver's worked.
Yeah, that's like a positive note, I guess, if they want to go that route at least, is that process is a lot more sniper friendly than Granary is at basically any stage of the map. So if they want to bust that out, it's going to be a little bit more generous for them here than before, but still that requires them to change up a lot as well. And making that work for you in this short amount of time is difficult. It might be something that could just like counter Happy Feet quite a bit, just like make any of the freedom suddenly die down a lot more with a sniper in front of them, but they have to do those so well themselves. Just changing up strategy doesn't work by itself. You just need to be able to do it on the same level the opponents have been. And so far, that's just been the struggle, right? They just aren't competing on the same level right now. This is clearly a difference of levels between these two teams. And just the change of strategy might just not be enough, but they have to hold on to hope here.
I guess, though, like my point is, like, if you're, let's say you're losing 2-0 in 10 minutes again, it's like you're obviously losing out on the fundamentals. The other team's just better. If the other team's just better, you can't just like, keep doing the same thing. You have to try and mix it up, and that's what off classes can do for you, with sniper being obviously the big one. And when you have a beast like Sam, or even if you get right to like perma snipe, he's still really good, and just keep your pocket scout, keep the team cohesion. Losing a soldier isn't that as bad for like the team structure, and just get him to snipe if you're losing out could do it for them. At least give them something to hope for,
Yeah, they cannot just they count themselves out here. Even that's like the worst mistake to make. If you want to believe, you have to be the first one to do it. It doesn't matter how many like people are cheering for them like elsewhere. They need to just believe themselves here, and that's the big one.
It's definitely gonna be hard to mentally stay in it. The other team's kind of just cruising along, easy days.
Yeah, this is like what I was talking about earlier as well before the match started. That like if you are not playing at your best, which you likely never will, like ever in your life, right? You might be close to it, but never quite 100%. Whatever your current level is, or whatever like your minimum is that you like are on drive-by mode at, needs to be good enough to compete here. And if this is even close, like the worst these teams have been playing, which I don't think they are, especially into Happy Feet, then the difference here is just very apparent.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless it might just be they're playing poorly, because I know that they've played a lot better than this. So they can just like you said, believe in themselves. Say, boys, what the fuck are we doing? Language, sorry, but and rein it in, and play how they know they can play. They can definitely just play normally and do it. They just haven't really shown that. There were some glimpses of it on Grand. There was like some of the time where they just crushed them, but then silly mistakes lost it for them.
Yeah, I don't know if we see something of this sort of as well, but there was like a couple moments on Granary, in fact, like twice in one push as well, where Happy Feet is always like super eager to just refight a midpoint once Headcave is like capping it. Out of any game state situation beforehand, just instantly back in there to try to refight this. They lost like 2 people and left and instantly came back again. And stuff like this, just Headcavers needs to be aware that Happy Feet just will try to take advantage of those positions.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the open map goes, because like you said, on the Sunshine, the more openness, apart from last, worked really well at the mids. But I don't really think the closed down style didn't really work at all for the Headcaver scouts. Sam and Dork did not have good maps. Like they kind of got completely crushed, while Down and Ice Shell worked with it and did really well and got the frags that they were needed. So I mean, maybe the open map is the play for them. Just have your scouts, because obviously the close play of just Solis bombing favored Happy Feet so much, but it's just so tough just overall when you're.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Headcavers to come back from this, but they don't have a choice but to try and go the whole 5 maps here. Let's see if they can do it. We can hand it over back to the casters, to Beta and Michael.
And hopefully we'll get a 4th.
That is the goal, is to get a 4th map. As Headcavers, I mean, they're caving, Beta.
Yep, they sure are. and Happy Feet, they're probably feeling basically what their name is suggesting right now as well. So everything is kind of working out in that sense. But I think we're going to get a cracker of a game here on Process. This is the most common map of all of them. Everyone knows this, and we're going to see a bunch of shenanigans. They actually did a really good job of shutting down Redcoat last map. He died a bunch. So hopefully they can keep that up and just improve in other areas as well.
Yeah, thankfully it does look like Redcoat is able to roll out on this map though. So Headcave, they're looking to take their own right side. At least both of their soldiers are to get aggressive. Riot will fall after he bombs in. Actually, Paulson opting to kill Redcoat over the dog roll frag that he had, but he'll come back for it. Fane will defend him. Both Scouts and Happy Feet kind of running wild here. Down will finally fall. Ice Show will clean up Enrith with the pistol. But with the height advantage being held by Fane here, it's a little tricky for the double Scouts and Medic of Headcavers to come back in. Fane eats a boatload of damage and gets the pack, but the mid will end up falling in favor of Happy Feet as, Headcavers, they're going to back out as the spawns for both teams do arrive.
Yeah, just a bit too good of a positioning right there. Double scout versus double, or against a scout and a soldier, for both with medics. That's a pretty close fight, and like a lot of things can happen. Actually, medic gets jumped and he gets the force of that Fane staying alive forever. There were a lot of other people just kind of making distraction right there, and that's going to mean a full advantage for dog roll. Soldier jumps in behind, does get a bunch of damage and has spread everyone out quite a bit, but it looks like both Dog and Riot has been cleaned up. So that's just leaves Paulson behind lines. We've seen him do this a whole lot, but he is, for the moment, kind of useless here. He might try to spawn camp here, but no one's actually coming out to spawn, and he just gets the air shot, and now he's just standing down the low ground there with a pickaxe.
Living out his spy main fantasies, as he's probably been banned from playing it by his team, rightfully so, as that's what he can do on a class with double the health and a rocket launcher instead of a knife. So play it down for each team. No off classes coming up from Happy Feet, as it's just the engineer from Headcavers. Slight uber advantage for Headcavers. They look like they want to take a lobby with it. I don't think they'll be looking to push out here. They should know it's pretty much even, so it's a bit of a lost cause to go forward from lobby. And they'll be looking to try and catch someone with Enrith's trap above that door, although at this point it is only 2 stickies, so it's only good for a scout, as Enrith is topping it up a bit.
Yeah, I like that movement right there. They basically moved forward when they had the uber advantage, and then as soon as they no longer had it, they just backed off and took a chill pill. So that's fine, right? Like, maybe if they're lucky, they can get some sort of cheeky pick. And actually, Fane's going to be that cheeky pick right now, coming in later. So perhaps we're going to see a soldier bomb in now. And currently, yep, here it comes. And Medic is pretty close. But, oh my god, he's getting juggled so hard. Doggerel does eat a pretty big rocket there, but no second soldier is in here to follow up. So, a valiant effort there from Riot. He got one nice rocket off. But, yeah, there were a lot of people shooting at him. He basically got, like, levitated there.
Yeah, and here we go. We have the Fane holding the door open for down as he is on the sniper. Taking a shot that has seen some success this season. Seeing if anyone will jump up. Enrith, I think he might have just caught a glimpse of down there, so they'll know it's happening. He is putting some spam up there, so he does know that the sniper's there. As, Down's going to ring off some shots. Clear some stickies for his team. Utility sniper is all that's happening right now. As he's swapping between lobby and door 2, seeing if anyone gets aggressive. But, actually, the Uber comes out from Doge. Fane getting into a good position. Actually trading himself with Enrith. Really worth trade as the Uber does come out from dog roll. Headshot ringing off. I believe that was onto Riot in door 2. Nice shot from Down coming out there. But it's not going to be brilliant here. Dog roll getting somewhat caught in. Riot and Sam both behind him. But neither of them are going to hit him. Riot will actually end up falling as Sam, he's on 1 health on the point. Nice arrow from Doge to keep him up. But Fane
destroys Paulson there, just jumps in, gets him, and he's even behind lines, so that's just going to pull everyone back. They know they can't allow the soldiers to come in from behind. That's going to be an easy medic kill there if they don't respect it. And here they come, also trying to jump in onto the medic, but really nice serve there from Doge and the rest of his team just shutting it down, and this is going to be a second point there that's going to fall almost certainly, unless like these sticky traps just kill everything. They're kind of scattered and not that effective looking, yeah, they're going to get spotted out, no problem. Choke's going to get locked down here by a soldier in the skybox, so a very aggressive play onto Doge, they're not really working out.
Yeah, sacking both soldiers and then down, just kind of beelining it straight into last. But Redcoat, oh no, that was very close to him. So I'm not sure if that was a, like, you know, dog roll dropping Redcoat, or if it was just Redcoat being knocked just out of the beam range. But regardless, he will be the first casualty of the fight, with the soldier falling just after him. But the health of the head caver scouts, it's so poor, both of them needing arrows. That's going to allow for Yule to get very aggressive, actually take IT, getting an arrow. He's going to look to re-aggress here. Aisho falling to ride on the low ground. And head cavers, despite how low they were at the start of the fight, they only lose ride in that. The arrows from Doge being an absolute lifesaver for them. And they're going to
it's not over
it.
yet. The soldier jumps in very aggressive, falls, and he was looking for the medic, but he found a wall instead, and 2 rockets in his back, and he's going to get taken down. And I feel like everyone is just kind of hugging the choke here for head caver, so they're going to get out. They're going to take a defensive posture here on second. Maybe wait for some soldiers to maybe perhaps jump into them. It hasn't happened so far, but he wants to. He is in there. He misses the first rocket. Second soldier's in. Not able to find the medic. Really nice movement there from Doge. And once again, it's like a 3-man sack for the medic without an Uber. It's just so aggressive, and it's not looking that smart at the moment.
Yeah, trying to make something happen off of the aggression from down. He managed to find himself an easy entry through lower IT. Paulson up in the sky. Aisho's looking to get a bit aggressive here. Dog roll. He will end up forcing on the point. Nice rocket to slam him into the ground by Riot. Puts him on 20 health. But Doge eats a lot of damage himself. Uber will come back across, and dog roll. He's got to be very careful. Sanders chip shot him down across the point. He's on for a 5-kill streak at this point. But Sam, he will have it ended by down from behind. Paulson falls to his death for God knows how many times it's been this series. But Doge, same fate suffered
the down
by him.
cleanup though, it's so brutal. He like just flanked it in the choke, and now he's on a 4K, and he's even going to take this fight with the soldier. Can he make it a 5K? Looks like he is going to win it. Yep, there we go. Down is just being an absolute monster right now. He's just carrying this game so hard. He's been so consistent on all the maps, and currently he's just bullying everyone. His dog's going to get taken down here as well. Like Happy Feet, they seem so damn good at just catching any players behind. They know when to ignore them, and then once they hit like a certain point, they just all gonna converge on them and take them down, and it just looks so effortless so far. So perhaps sending players behind is just not the play against Happy Feet.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Happy Feet. Like, all of these players are really good, as has been said by our analysts. Like, all easily number 1 or 2 in their class in the country. As we do have a bit of a point play coming up from Aisho. It gets it very capped. The health is so poor. Scout demo soldier, or rather med demo soldier, scout only alive here for Sam, as they will lose the first round. And sorry, on the point I was saying before, like, the Happy Feet players, they're all really good, but the way that they normally end up playing is that they'll rock up to a game, and most of their players will be playing at about this level, but normally it is rare for all 6 of them to show up at this level. So that's how our teams, they're normally getting a round or 2 off of them. But they're all there tonight. Like, all of these players are playing at a really good level, a really consistent level across all 3 maps. And that's just what's letting them be so in control of this entire series so far.
Yeah, currently Happy Feet, they have really good position right now. They're really far forward. Yu's going to jump in, actually get bound around a lot. He's going to be the first one to go down. So this early positioning not really working out for them. Now Paulson's going to jump in here, gets a lot of damage in. Aishu barely going to be able to escape with his life, but just everyone from Happy Feet gets just pressured out of mid here. They keep their medic alive. They basically keep everyone except for Yule alive here. But good mid coming in here from Head Cavers, and they're not content with that. They're going to keep on pushing here, it looks like. Maybe it's just going to be a single soldier, double soldier make that. But no, look at Dogwell. He is completely giving them the slip. Nobody even close to getting him.
And I think Riot got absolutely destroyed on that bomb in there. I don't know if it was traps or a rocket, but either way, he got sent sky high. As Paulson will actually fall on the retreat. Yule very low. Sam's looking to find something, but Yule's just giving him the runaround around the pipe, so he'll live. Scout for soldiers, the players down right now. As we do have a spy coming up. Although, hang on, what's he checking for? What's he checking for? I think he was checking for a sniper, didn't find anything. He will go back to scout, will be down.
I have a question. Are banners allowed in the whitelist in Ozfortress?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
we
I've
are.
been making a lot of speculations about it, and it'd be really dumb if it's not allowed. Okay,
No,
so
yeah,
I'm not
it's-
stupid. They're
It's
stupid.
it's the
all their
global
fault.
whitelist.
Yeah, okay. You know, it could be like RGL, where it's like, we're gonna do our own thing because we're weird.
You never know.
You
You
know?
never know. This is just 6v6 though. Nothing too funky. As looking like we have a pretty standard double soldier bomb coming in, although Riot completely locked out. So
He was just getting juggled in on the floor there, just by consecutive rockets doing like 30 and 40 and 50. You just kind of have to just sling out there. Down is actually really close. Okay, I thought he was going to get a quick little angle onto Doge there. He was like a millisecond away from pulling the trigger and just doing his classic unbind A&D and just press the forward key right into the enemy medic, but he decided to call it off at the very last second. So we'll see how they decide to play this as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone go back and switch to Sniper. And Riot has been warming up on Sniper in every game, and he's kind of been beasting in that. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he actually just gonna opt for the Australian or New Zealand Sniper. I don't know. What is he canonically from?
I think he's Australian. I'm not too sure though. I'm not a massive lore guy myself, but he definitely doesn't sound like a Kiwi.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm gonna trust that you know your accent's better than I do, because you're kind of closer to it than I am. But everyone has moved forward here for Happy Feet, as there were 2 picks coming in here onto Head Cavers, and Riot, he's gonna hold the flank. He's gonna find. Actually, he's gonna miss down. No, never mind. He is gonna find him. Just shoots him in the back twice. And Fane, he's gonna get taken down here as well. So really bad exchange coming out here. We have 2 skies. That's gonna be the counter double sack coming in here, and Dogwolf will get forced eventually. So now Doze, he's going to be under the advantage, but it's going to be the double 15 seconds plus spawn coming out here of Riot and Dog. So might be a while before they make use of this Uber advantage.
Yeah, definitely. As Happy Feet, they're looking to see what's going on. Fuel scouted it out, so they're going to have some time to get some sacks ready. Fane will get into IT, and that's actually going to be where Head Cavers are. He'll scout that out early. And that's going to let a lot of spam come in. Everyone getting ready for this to come through. Doge dodging all of the damage that's coming his way, as he's made it into mid without taking a single point of damage. But the down sniper, it is up in choke. So if anyone tries to get too aggressive, they are going to have some trouble. Doge finally using Uber in the choke. Massive surf through. Yule and Redcoat will be the ones to fall. It looks like Fane will get caught behind by Sam and Paulson. They will fall as Dogroll, he'll come up on his full Uber while 3 of his teammates are down. And speaking of down, he's up on the heavy with his heels on the left-hand side, making sure they do not drop their first round of the final.
Well, Heavy can't get off the point, and now there's a scout on that's shooting it, but there we go. Can't get there in time, so despite having the Uber, it's just not enough. And Head Cavers, they get their first round here, Michael, and now it's going to be 1-1 on this map, so Map 4 Dreams are alive now. I love this. And that was a pretty big mistake there coming out from Happy Feet, and that was a really nice Uber exchange coming out from Headcaver. So everything just worked out there, and this is exactly what they needed, some wind in their sails.
Definitely. So Happy Feet, they're going to look to try and take a knife to that sail, curl all the momentum here, keep it at 1 round for the final. Enrith will fall to the stickies from Redcoat, but Yule will die at the same time. Riot falling as well, so down a scout. No, sorry, no one's down a scout. Down a demo man and 2 soldiers is the S-class I was looking for, but either way, it's going to be the retreat coming out from Headcavers. They're all the way
Paulson
out.
is way behind here as well. Yeah, he was overextended like crazy. This has definitely been an issue with Paulson, I feel like. He's just so aggressive all the time, and sometimes he just kind of dies where there's no need to. Like, what's he going to do in there in the flank area? Like, at most he's going to kill a scout, but so what? Like, that's just going to be a sniper off class, right? So that's the best case scenario. So I don't really see the point. Soldier's going to jump in here. Medic is alone, but nice surf. Second soldier as well get taken down. And as is tradition, Aishu's going to go down here as well. It's always a 3-man sack coming out, and then the second port falls. We've seen this so many times, but a great hold here from Headcavers. You can definitely feel the momentum going in their favor right now, and they just need to ride this and just embrace it. Just keep going, man.
Yeah, although Redcoat and Doggerel, they're sitting close here. They know where the players are, and they're going to take this trade. A lot of damage done onto Doge immediately. He will get forced right at the same time as the Happy Feet Uber comes out. Fading now when Choking. That's actually going to completely kill the Headcavers push into mid. Down one soldier there, back into second. And Happy Feet, they're looking like they might want to push in here. Aisho's getting pretty close to choke.
Well, they're definitely going to send in a soldier here. That was the decoy one, and then the second one is going to be a second decoy. Not sure what the main thrust of this is going to be. Just scouts on the low ground. No one has really made a push in here, and I think as soon as Paulson makes it into this fight, they're just going to get out here, and they are indeed. You know, the double decoy soldier bomb there. That's it's been a while since I've seen something like that. But you know, nobody dies, so it's kind of fine. Just sort of looked weird.
Yeah, they should just do the strat where they just bomb both soldiers from the far entrance of sewer, and they just cross with each other again and again and again. Speaking of again and again and again, down again, falling as he just kind of bots in. Just through an open door, he down an open door, then found the enemy team of Headcavers, and here comes the counter-sack from Riot. Nearly a nice serve from Doggerel. Very close to falling.
Like that was like a millisecond away. If the soldier gets off his last rocket, like the medic is up against a crate with 30 HP, he's gonna have to pop that. So very, very close there. Nice surprise there from Riot. Surprisingly good bombing, I'd say, going up against the Oz. And also, I just want to point out, you know, you were talking about the massive decoy plays where they just jump back and forth all the time. Seven used to do this a lot, like both on Process and Sunshine. They just kept jumping in and jumping back out all over, like Stocky and Captain. They would just go over and over again as the down has gone sniper. And actually, we're going to see the wraparound play. Oh no, Sam, it's popping and
oh no,
gets the pop.
The worst possible situation. Sam dropped on the entrance in. Riot was on Spy, but he will just kill by him. Not even worth going for the play, as the aggression is going to come through. But with only one scout being Aisho on Happy Feet, the bomb's going to come in, and Aisho, he's gone too far forward. Paulson, that's the easiest force of his life. It's in a Prem Grand Final. He's getting stomped in, so not quite what you'd expect. But you've got Happy Feet rolling into last here. Scout and Demo down. Aisho's fighting for his life on the point. 20 health, will be able to get an arrow, as the Heavy's the only one able to shoot him, and that Heavy will fall right now. I imagine we're just going to see some spawn camping coming out here until this second round falls. Not even going to get anything, just some damage done on the Doge, but that will be the second round falling in favor of Happy Feet.
Yeah,
but
really great job there. Yep, they're still in it for sure. This is, you know, we're at the 12-minute mark, and this is where the game has kind of felt over in all the other maps, but not this time around. It's 2-1, and it's anyone's game right now. And let's see. Actually, Enmith was kind of slow there, didn't get his medkit, so he had to wait for an arrow to do anything. So both teams have started out this mid pretty slow.
Oh, but Sam falling, that's going to be, that's actually just a complete fall. I was just about to say, they normally leave on a soldier down. Sam, of all players, is falling. They are going to back out very quickly. And Fane and Aisho, they're looking for Riot, but he will delay it so much. But Doggerel surfed straight up just because of the angle that the rocket hit him at. And it will not lead to a kill. And actually, what's Aisho doing? He's so aggressive here in lobby. Just almost poking his tongue out at the other team. As Ubers will even out with Happy Feet in control of the second point.
Yeah, Fane actually does end up trading for Sam again. So keep taking down Sam. That's a really nice way to doing it. Down, he is in here and actually wins the 1v1 against Dog. He's going to put pressure onto the point here. See the demo desperately trying to just spam it out, and here comes the Uber Force as well. Down has eventually been killed, so that's good for them. But now Dog is going to have this full Uber advantage, big man advantage. Spawns are going to come in 4 seconds, but that might be too late here. He's not even on the point right now. They are actually Ubering on the point, so they're not capping it. So they're being a bit slow. Here come the two spawners. They're doing their best. Gonna miss the air shot there though, and probably that would not have been enough, and that's gonna be 3-1 here in favor of Happy Feet. So kind of making a bit of a comeback here after kind of throwing that round, that second round they were in, and now they're sort of back to their old ways here. But it's still 10.5 minutes remaining, so anyone's game. Nice roll here from Enmith, but again, see how passive he is. I think he's just afraid of soldiers jumping in.
Yeah, and definitely with the position that Yule and Fane have been taking turns in playing on that right-hand side, it's definitely a threat. You have a high bomb coming up from Yule, but it's almost a fake out. Fane landing right on top of Doge, does miss his second rocket. That's both soldiers down for Happy Feet, but with Riot falling, it's only a one-player advantage, and Down will equalize it on the Dork. He's still doing so much damage on the Pulse, and he's got to get a small pass. Aisha, he's walking forward. The DM King has arrived in choke. He's looking to claim the entire Headcavers team. Not even looking for Paulson now. He will go forward, and he's just taunting next to Paulson as he does kill himself.
Yeah, Down is just chewing up the entirety of Headcavers right now. He is just asserting his dominance in this server. He's playing so well. They're going to position themselves on Spire now. It's going to go down for sure. Riot has switched to Sniper. He kind of knows that they need some sort of big play coming out here. But he's sniping through long, but Scout's going to just rush him down, push him back. It's going to enable their mates to get in here without being in danger of dropping to some sort of hero shot. So they're just gearing up for another big Uber advantage push.
Yeah, and they can use straight through that door, bomb in from Redcoat. They're going to look to deal with the heavy to start off with, but not a lot of damage getting done. He will finally fall, but that's as the Uber fade. They know where the gun is, that there is one, but they have to deal with that and the stickies on the point. Doge is still a fair way away from his own Uber, so they won't have to deal with that just yet, as they've managed to keep all of their players alive in the post. But if they're not quick about it, they're going to end up being even players again. 2 spawns coming up for Headcavers, but that doesn't matter because Happy Feet, they're on the point to claim a second quick round in a row, bringing themselves to 4-1. 8 minutes left. It seems like Happy Feet, they have come back into the swing of things.
Yeah, it was looking so close, but then they just take a bunch of really quick rounds, and these pushes, they're just so solid, man. They just, this wall that nobody can get close to, and then at some point they just play the point and cap it out. It's really well done by them.
As we do have a double bomb coming out. Riot and Paulson looking to get something done. Fane, Riot trading each other's deaths for the scouts as Sam does die though. Doge is staying in a little longer than he normally is used to. Redcoat bombing in, trying to take advantage of it. Does a lot of damage but doesn't claim any kills. Paulson getting quite low though, will need an arrow as he's running away from his medic, making it pretty difficult to stay alive. As actually Headcavers, they want to take this back in. They've got the demo advantage. Trying to make something happen off of the aggression from Redcoat, but Paulson will die. He's the king of killing himself this game. As Enrith dies as well, Doge on the 100% Uber, may have to use it on Dork here. Oh, Down puts Doge onto, I think that was 3 health. So they're going to get the force off as nothing's going to come of it. Dogroll still on that full Uber advantage. Will look to try and get into second here without
Doge is
using
still
roll.
weak, so he can't really be in this fight at all. Riot's going to try to get out, but no, Aisha just kills him as well. So They kind of want to move forward here and just keep this momentum up, but they also unfortunately need to cap this Spire here. So a little bit annoying, but they're going to eventually come in with this big Uber advantage. Just going to put a scout on the point. It's going to force people forward. Uber has actually worn off here, but the presence just too much. Demo on the point. They're going to cap it out, and that's going to be 5-1 in favor of Happy Feet. And they are really just beginning to show their dominance right now on this map. It was looking like it was going to be an actual closer map, but now all of a sudden it feels like more one-sided than ever.
Yeah, definitely. So I think this is the fastest string of rounds we've seen fall across all 3 maps so far. Losing 3 in the span of about 6 minutes is Headcavers, but with 6 minutes left, they're not out of it yet. Fane does die early. A lot of damage done onto Yule. He will fall as well. Leave 1 scout to cap and walk it forward as Headcavers' plan. They need to try and bring this back in, as if they lose this map, they have lost the grand final. It's 2-0 currently to Happy Feet, and they're in a pretty good spot to look at going the distance, making it a 3-0. Riot does fall as middle point gets capped. But, I mean, hey, Headcavers here, you kind of need to take advantage of this player, take lobby, and go from there. I think you can't be stalemating.
Yeah, and you pretty much just have to push in here. You can't go for cute plays. You just have to get Ubers out of the way and hope you win the repush. And you need to do that 4 times in a row. Otherwise, you're dead if you're Headcavers.
Yeah, definitely. It will be the season there. If it happens, Ubers do get traded in. Paulson will be the only casualty of the Ubers. Although Sam looking to come in post with the beam, he will back out without any deaths happening. Headcavers to hold second with the loss of Dork. It may be a little difficult for them. They're going to have to look at backing out. And yeah, nothing's going to happen. Just some spam trading. And Sam
Sam's
will
going
die.
for the full. Yeah, I think he just went full risk reward there, just trying to see if he can make the big play. And actually, Yule's gonna go down. They really need this, but I hate to hop on the same point when there's still 5 minutes remaining. I realize you can get tired of hearing me saying this, but Headcavers, they need to push this like immediately, all the time. They cannot afford to wait. They just need to push into this heavy, and there's just not a lot you can do about it. They have sent Riot in here behind lines, but he's going to get taken down, and now Doge is going to be in 75% Uber, and he's going to just have to get out here. Luckily, he has a scout with him, so he will manage to escape. But, you know, that last push failed, and Doggerel, he already has his Uber to defend second with here as well.
Yes. Happy Feet, they're looking to push it out. I think they want to close this one out in style. 4.5 minutes left for them to claim one more round. Uber does get used onto them, but the counterpop does come out from Doge. Sam, he's going deep though. He wants to claim Feign, I guess, is what he's going for. As Ubers do fade, Doge does get out alive. Redcoat will fall, trading his life for Sam in that choke. But you've got a little wraparound play coming through. Dork and Enrith managing to clean up Aisho in the choke. Some Headcavers players, they're going to get heals and go forward. 4v5 in favor of Headcavers with a demo down, but Redcoat does just spawn now, so gonna be even. Even players, essentially, even Ubers. The heavy is up, so there's a fat Russian man on the point. He could not deal with it before. They're struggling to deal with it now. Feign does die aggressively, and you've got Riot up in heaven, so he may be able to do some damage here. As he... Sorry, pardon me.
Definitely turning heads. Yeah, look at this. Enrith is coming in here. He's getting all the kills. Now, they could actually get onto the point, but unfortunately the spawners comes in here. You're cleaning up. Enrith's going to be the only one alive, and everyone was so weak they're just barely unable to get those last kills secured, and that's going to be another second cap coming in here. Actually, Sam's going to fight a soldier here in sewers. He's going to have to just get out of there as well. Doggerel, however, he didn't spawn until quite late, so he's going to be an even Ubers here with Doge, and perhaps one of them went Crit Creek. Like, that's what I would do if I was Doge, but Doge is just standing still. Alright, he's just having a cigarette break, I guess.
Yeah, having a bit of a break, looking for some players. We do have the sniper up on Riot. He's peeking the choke, getting some damage off onto Yule, I think that was. But there's just constant stickies being put in front of him. He gets juggled forward, will deny the bomb in from Yule, and he's just setting himself up at sewers. The push is coming through, but it's ended up being a pretty decent Uber advantage for the side of Happy Feet. Bomb coming in from Paulson will not get a whole lot. Actually jumps Redcoat in, which I think is what his plan was anyway. That's going to be a total wipe coming out from Headcavers. As
GD has come out from Paulson. Redcoat spent his swag buying, so he's going to get banned from RGL, that's for sure.
Yeah.
As they're just going to move in here onto second, just push back the demo man. And he's still trying his best to snipe, and actually Sam's going to go onto the sniper as well. He's going to get taken down immediately. And then even Doc, he's going to get out here, trying to see if he can make some sort of magic happen, but down. He just hits a lot, and he throws even the shot and further down.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen. That is going to be the third and final map process, falling 6-1 in favor of Happy Feet. As it will be Happy Feet, who are your ozfortress Season 28 Premier Grand Finalist champions, taking out that first place and the nice portion of the prize pool.
Indeed, $1,800 roos. I don't know. Is it dollars down in Australia?
I think it's a
dollary dues, man.
Yeah. There
dollary dues. My bad. Okay, and then second place, they're gonna leave with $900 dues. So it was a big congratulations to both teams, but obviously Happy Feet, the big winners. So we'll see if we can get him in with an interview, see what maybe happened to Headcavers there and what their thoughts are on it. But perhaps before we do that, let's hear the thoughts of our analyst here.
I mean, it didn't start too badly. Like that first round, they definitely could have won, but then it kind of all collapsed from there. Honestly, just that soldier play did not work like at all. Paulson and Riot and Nice Webs got fucked. Like that's the nice way of saying it. They just both got absolutely dominated, like stat-wise as well. Like they both took 10 bazillion damage and didn't really work for them at all, pretty much. So that's
it does help
obviously...
that early on, Yule and Feign also struggled quite a bit, but it just got a little bit better by the end, and that made just a massive difference for Headcavers, just like Happy Feet. The sacks, the playmaking was just struggling. For Happy Feet, however, it also improved in the end. Headcaver still had some promise though this game, like you said. For a little bit, they definitely focused on not losing, just keeping themselves together and then going once they have something. But it just wasn't enough by the end.
Yeah, I mean, at 2-1, it was not looking too bad. Like the first 15 minutes, that first round, they definitely could have won. Like it was definitely anyone's game, and then they won around. Yippee, go the boys! But then, yeah, as soon as they lost those two, they lost like 3 rounds in like really quick succession after that 2-1, and obviously by that point it was pretty much game over. Roko was kind of just jumping in YOLO style, and once again, Roko absolutely destroyed. Like damage-wise, Enrith was kind of the only one that stood up there. And then Aishao and Down obviously just cleaned up, and there wasn't really much for Sam and Dork to clean up, unfortunately. But yeah, it was looking hopeful, but then the soldier play just did not work at all. Which I mean, it's not really that surprising. Obviously, Paulson and he came in he came in for the upper bracket final, but then had to play for his real team, and then then had to come in again after calling and playing on demo for a week and then try to adapt on soldier. So it's not really that surprising that their soldier play would have been kind of completely changed up. And no offense to Wilson, but Hertz is obviously a much better jumper. So obviously you have to change up what kind of jumps and all that you do when you don't have a top 300 or whatever ranked Tempest gamer you are on soldier. Makes it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, very unfortunate affair here for Headcovers, but well-deserved win for Happy Feet as well. Took them this map much longer than any of the other previous maps to actually get things rolling. I was a little bit scared once they got the first round going that it's just going to look like the rest of the maps, but Headcovers took it together quite well until it eventually ran 2-1, and that's when things were a little bit more falling apart there.
Yeah, I mean, just like the mids as well, just like never got going for them on pretty much any map.
Yes.
And, TF2's win game. I think it was probably like 3 mids, or did they win a mid on the first map? They won 1, so like 4 mids out of 16 rounds. No team's ever going to really win if that happens to you. Pretty much.
Well, we can talk your game. However, I think a little bit more insightful would be what the players have to say. So I think we got some people in here for that.
Yeah, surprisingly, it looks like we have 3 from Headcavers. And yeah, 3 about to be coming in. But I think we're trying to get some more from the Victorious team, even though they're all cuties and a bit shy, probably. But yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about Headcavers not doing too well, but Aishao and Down kind of pounded throughout the night. Pretty much they all pounded. I don't think anyone really took a step wrong, like at all. I don't think there was any map at any time, as you were kind of saying, or I think Michael was saying in the game, like all 6 of them pretty much showed up big time and destroyed. Like Redcoat was basically phenomenal, so I'm sure he'll be really proud of his second place of best demo again. I mean, second in the best demo contest, because yeah, he really showed up. But then yeah, Down probably doing a lot of flank plays, especially on Grand, even when it's hard, and getting a lot of backups. And he seemed to get a lot of med picks. Like there were a lot of times where it didn't look like it was going too badly for Headcavers, but Down would just like kind of sneak in and smash the med.
Oh yes. There was an unfortunate amount of those, even on this map, and it was only 5 deaths for those even. So in theory, it doesn't even look that bad, but the ones they got just mattered so much.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, looks like we're about to get the gamers in now. Doesn't seem like anyone Victorious team wants to talk too much. Maybe they're all partying together. But how are we, boys? Not the game I'm sure most of us were hoping for, apart from Redcoat. But
I'm ecstatic. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Doing very well.
Yeah, we can tell from your voice.
Tell from your voice you're very happy too.
What can we tell from your voice ever?
I'm sad. I was expecting the epic 5-0 and you let me down, Paulson. You were shit.
There was an epic 5-0. Well, there was.
Excuse me. Only the process curse, as
Fair
always.
Enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's true. Well, shut up, you guys. I want to hear from the winners first, or the winner that's graced us with his presence. Redcoat, probably a bit easier than the previous seasons. How were you feeling throughout that, and how are you feeling now?
Yeah, pretty good. Not bad.
Just another day in the office, eh, mate?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did it go how you expected? Like, obviously, surely you'd be a bit surprised, you know.
Yeah, no,
The
we
scrims are obviously pretty close.
we
and all that.
definitely did a lot better than like we expected to win, but we didn't expect to win so convincingly, I guess. So yeah, pretty happy with that result. I feel like we just made like we took quite a few risks in like the main game, and I feel like most of them just paid off, and just it snowballed essentially.
What was it more? You think you're all firing on all cylinders? Because we pretty much couldn't say anything wrong about any of what your team did, or was it more just the other team couldn't really cope? They weren't up to standard.
I don't know. We were just playing like really decisively and shit, and it was just like we were just winning our fights. I don't know if that's just us playing better or them not playing as well, but we just seemed to like we used our advantages really well. We like pushed things, like got every bit of ground out of every advantage that we could feasibly get, and we just won most of the team fight engagements as well. So
yeah, I kept noticing that you were dealing with the players running behind really, really well. Like, what's your mindset for dealing with players going behind?
if I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh.
Haha.
No, I don't know.
Well, you can
Like-
tell me. I'm really far away from you.
Yeah, a lot of the time, I feel like what happens is they send people behind us and then they try and collapse with their combo, or like just try and delay us or something long enough so that we don't get the cap or something and can't use our advantage. But we kind of just stacked the cap a lot of the time because we didn't expect them to come back in instantly. And it kind of just let us... well, it kind of depends on the situation. If we had disad, we'd go back and kill them to stop them from pushing. But otherwise, we'd typically try and just go forward and ignore them for the most part. And then they'd get desperate and have to go for stuff.
So, Paulson, were you guys getting desperate and just going for stuff?
Only when, like, it got to the point where we needed to, right? You know, when the clock was getting down and there were rounds up and whatnot. It's the one shitty thing about the whole 30-minute time thing compared to like the Americans thing is like you're forced to do really like bad plays when the clock gets down to the wire, but just the way it is.
Yeah, you could argue that's a good thing because there's a bunch of pushing going on. But yeah. Definitely as the team that's like feeling the clock breathing down your neck and like you have to push, it can feel kind of bad, obviously. But you know that's kind of the situation that you're in at that point. But yeah, you guys were definitely playing very like kind of.
We were playing their game pretty much all night.
Yeah, like what do you think went wrong on some of your last pushes? Because you did have a bunch of Uber Advantage last pushes, and even those didn't seem to work out.
Did we?
I don't remember any.
There were a few.
I swear we had
Yeah, on
like
Sunshine.
All the maps you had like one round where like you definitely should have won, and then it just didn't happen pretty much.
I swear I remember only like maybe like 2 or 3 Uber ad last pushes from on our side. I remember one on Sunshine. That's pretty much it. That all I remember. But yeah, I don't know. We did.
You are old and demented, so not unexpected.
Am I wrong? Because like I feel like my team would agree with me here. Like I
No,
barely-
there
No,
weren't a
we
huge
didn't have
amount.
many. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
There
think we
were
had
a
more
couple
than
of times
2 or 3
where you
on
guys
each
had
map.
ad and didn't actually push. Like we expected the push for like ages, and like we still didn't have Uber, and we were still like grinding back, but like nothing really happened.
Yeah, there were a lot of times where we had ad, and I remember very specifically people saying it's only like 10%, so we never went. So maybe it was bigger
There were
than
a
we
couple
thought.
times where it would have been perceived ad that we had for you guys, but like Doge wasn't healing on his way out of spawn.
Oh, fair enough.
That you did have like a lot of your Ubers just didn't really work at all on any of the maps. Kind of was it just bad calling or what happened?
I don't think it was. I feel I was saying this before we joined. I don't think anything other than when the clock was getting down to the wire. Like I don't think anything we were doing was like the calls we were making was that bad. It was just our execution was horrible. Like we weren't focusing people, and I don't know, people dying at bad times and whatnot. That's what it felt like, at least. Like all our pushes in theory was like the right thing to do, except for one. But
Which one?
It was when they were pushing into our second with a sniper, and Sam wanted to do a trade for choke, but we had a spy at the time. And it was just like a bit of a, like, why would you trade if we've got a spy? And then just sort of made us, everything just fell apart from that point. Like, you guys were expecting it or something because you just immediately killed Sam with a trap.
Yeah, well, we'd seen him do it a few other times when we'd go into a sewer. So we just did a thing where, like, we'd have our sniper go sewer, and I just hold second with a trap on choke and just insta-kill Sam when he comes through. And then, like, their meds committed to choke alone.
All right, we're about to wrap this up. So just one last question for both of you, and that is, what are your plans for next season?
Don't know yet. That's all I can say.
I assume, like, we're going to play in some form or another, but there's obviously the off-season shuffle that always happens. So I mean, I'd like to see at least the core of our team, like, remain in place.
All right, do you guys want to host the ETF 12 season, since ETF 12 doesn't want to? Never mind. Let's do some shout-outs, shall we? Unless, DuMmTm, do you have any questions you need to hear?
No, you guys covered it pretty well here. I would say that was very insightful to what went down here and how it went down, so yeah.
All right, okay. So I guess, Enrith, you get the first shout-out, and then we just go down the list.
All right, shout out to you guys for casting. Thanks for that. Shout out to the other team. That wasn't a great game, but well played. Shout out to Paulson for merking for us for the finals, since we had a disruption with our team. And shout out to my Dust Bowl boys.
Yeah, and then Paulson, you're next on the list.
Yeah, shout out to everyone from Jasmine Beef except Elmo, because apparently he was bullying me all night.
What do you mean?
I've been told that...
I said you did good on the first map, comparatively, and then you were dog shit on process. Do you disagree?
I don't disagree, but apparently I've been
That's
fed...
like that's
apparently
the
I've been fed
thing.
false information.
Probably the nicest I've been to you all season was on the stream, bro. And
Okay,
you'll
then,
agree.
Elmo, I give you a shout out. I love you.
I only called you demented like twice.
Redco next.
Oh, I don't do shoutouts.
Okay, bro.
Right then.
Shout out to you guys for casting. Shout out to Happy Feet, our team, not Hertz. Shout out to all the AU Tempest players. That's it.
Yeah, well, we'll go back up to the top. Beta, you got anyone?
Yeah, big shout outs to Connor and Wiethoofd, of course, for doing all the production and the spectating. It's always good. Shout out to you, Michael, for being a wonderful caster to cast with, and all the other people that I've casted with this season. I've actually gotten quite a few ozfortress games in, thanks to quarantine and holidays and stuff. So it's been nice. I've really enjoyed it. And then I guess I will point out that I'm probably going to finish the ozfortress season movie soon-ish, whenever I review these demos and record everything. I've already made half of the video, so it should be pretty quick, but I'll probably just jinxed it myself. Who knows? And then shout out to ETF12 for totally hosting a season next season. Thanks. That's going to be that.
I'm keen for that frag, maybe. Well, we'll go to DuMmTm next.
Yeah, shoutouts for you guys to getting me in the last few weeks. Very late notice every time, but it's been fun. Looking forward to more here, because it might be the only TF2 we're getting in Europe. Shoutouts to, speaking of which, we still have, at least this season, we'll have to go a little bit more, which will be tonight in EU time, which is to say in about 7 hours or so. Just today at 1 a.m. I got confirmation that the first round of playoffs for Premiership, which is the franchise whose name I don't dare pronounce, against Nerd Rage is happening at 21 CEST. Like I said, in about 7 hours. Maybe not the best time for most Australians here, but if you're from anywhere else that might be a little bit more generous to your time zone, stay tuned in on TFTV. We'll be very quickly, in a few minutes, throw together who's casting and a match bait for that to stay informed. So check out the website on TFTV as well to see what's happening. And yeah, hope to see you there.
And we'll go to Elmo second last.
Shout out to all the other casters in TF Live for all the casts and all that. Couldn't do as many as I wanted this season because busy playing with my shit team. And yeah, shout out to my shit team, Jasmine Beef, as well.
You're cut.
Thank fuck.
Yeah, well, I'll wrap us out. Look, shout out to everyone involved in the production tonight. 6-man production with the double producer observing combo of Connor and Wiethoofd. That's nice to see. Progression in technology, you love it. And shout out to, like I said, everyone, Beta for casting with me, DuMmTm, Elmo on analysis. Was a good show tonight, boys. Shout out to both teams. Had some good games throughout the season. And big shout outs to everyone watching. Now, before we end things tonight, we have a little bit of announcements to make. The first being that the TF Live Discord is actually going to be made public for people to join. And part of the reason for this being the case is that there is a little section in the TF Live Discord, if you choose to join, where you can submit questions for the upcoming roundtable. And speaking about the roundtable, that is going to be live, I believe, on this channel on Thursday at 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time. So there should be some more news coming out about the people on it soon. But we have that date locked in, and definitely join the TF Live Discord so you can submit any questions you have and we may answer them on the show. So with that, that'll do us for tonight. I hope everyone enjoyed ozfortress Season 28 as much as I did. This is the final cast of the season. So definitely keep a heads up for any mid-season cups and for ozfortress Season 29. Because that is happening. There's no ifs and buts about it. And we will leave you there. Everyone enjoy the rest of your evening.